everybody. What's going on? It's your boy Doc Holiday. We back again. Back again on this lovely Tuesday evening. If you haven't done it by now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that join and hit that subscribe button. Trying to get everybody to come on in. And first and foremost, shout out to my boy Big Lauderdale. Lauderdale from there Memphis. Becoming a Overdrive fan, man. Thank you for your support, man. Thank you for support. It would not go in vain. It would not go in vain. So just let everybody know that. Man, make sure that y'all like this stream. Make sure that you comment, share, and most of all subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Just hit the subscribe button. Become an Overdrive fan. Um, like I said, everything that we do, it goes back into the channel. I do not keep a dime of this money. It goes back into the channel to improve um, things with the channel as far as like getting new stuff, new equipment, camera, lighting, green screen, whatever we need to have for this uh, podcast to make it readily available for everybody. Make sure that we make sure that we um, I make sure that we basically just use it for that. So like I said, it doesn't go back into my pocket. It doesn't do anything. Um, but like I said, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And so the thing we're gonna do is the do disaster relief for Rolling Fork. Okay. So what's up, Jacinto? Israel, what's going on? Be right. I'm sorry. Am I sounding low? I want to make sure I'm good. I want to make sure I'm good. I want to make sure everything is good. I think my mic is good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. But hold on. All right, we good. We good now. So, like I said, we're gonna take donation. We're gonna take donations uh, throughout the show, and the way we're gonna take donations throughout the show is either we're gonna do use as far as Cash App, or we can do the super chat. That way, it goes into it just goes into the 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 money pot. And so what we're gonna do throughout the show is we either gonna use Cash App or Super Thanks or Super Chat. So if you got any questions you want to ask, you can use the Super Chat. If you want to just go ahead and donate as far as using Cash App, or you can use the Super Thanks or Super Chat. It is all it's all more than welcome. We are trying to raise enough funds to where we want to send this off to the people in Rolling Fork. We're not gonna we're not gonna forget Silver City and Guila, because they all are in, what I'm saying, they all are in need uh of this. And I just hate to see um the things that was going on as far as um in what we saw over the weekend with, I just say, like, a whole town just got obliterated. So we talk about football, we talk about our schools, we talk about who our rivals are, and we talk all this noise, this junk like that, but we make sure that the people that the people that are in need, we make sure that we keep it charitable. Make sure we give to them so they can be able to get back on their feet. So that's the main thing what we're gonna do, and I want to put at least try to raise at least $1,000 um by next week. Yeah, man, I heard Midnight Mississippi, all that runs up 61, um, going into towards Yazoo City, uh, Belzone, those all those places, man. Yeah, they need our help. So let's dig into our pockets and let's get the ball rolling. Let's let's get the ball rolling. So I'm what I'm gonna do is I know on Thursday I get paid Thursday, so I'm a chip in $50 on myself, and we're gonna go from there. So what's up, Blue? What's good, Blue? Man, um, shout out to Blue for being at the pro day. We're gonna get into that, but my boy been working, y'all. Y'all say y'all been working. My boy been working. Bro been working, man. So we we he's out there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the interviews that he did while there in Jackson. Um, yeah, like I said, my bro been working in them streets, and we gonna get into that too, unstoppable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put in the cash app. I'm gonna put in the cash app. Uh, I'm, I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna feed it into the feed. What's up, Chief? What's going on, man? We gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that just a second, y'all. Let me get this going. And so if it's in the chat, you see it in the chat, I'm gonna pin it to the top. That way y'all can go ahead and do what you have to do. But the cash app is right there, and then like I said, we're gonna do super chat and super thanks to raise the money up. So but anyway, man, we gonna let's go ahead and get started. Uh let's go ahead and get started, y'all, man. Y'all leave my co-host alone. Leave my co-host alone. She chilling. She chilling. So all right. Let's get into this. So we got that's spring football dates updates. We'll talk about that too. Pro day, pro day at Jackson State. And if anybody wants to come on here, you know, call it in, and you want to put your 2 cents in, man. More than welcome. Uh, So pro day at Jackson State. From what I saw with pro day at Jackson State, it was a success. It was a huge success. Um, um, Shout out to all the athletes that were there that participated. Um, we gotta try to make sure these young men gonna try to get themselves to a team. They look good on their interviews, and hopefully they get drafted one day. But the talk of the draft, the talk of the pro day, basically was for Jackson State. Basically, was Isaiah Bolden. Um, if you haven't seen his measurables, Zay is a legit 6'2". I know he's about 205, 210, and and he got himself. I think he got himself drafted running a 4.31. I think he probably runs like a low four in a low 4.2s. I think he runs like a low 4.2. But for him to run a 4.31 um at the pro day was, I mean, that's remarkable, y'all. That is remarkable. Uh, and we talking about a kid that basically he was the do it all from Florida State. He was, when he came in, he played running back. He could play receiver, but his niche was the defense and special teams. So he played a little bit in the spring. He played a little bit in the spring. I think he played on offense in the spring. Turn around in the fall, he was primarily special teams, primarily special teams player. And then he played a little bit of defense, but I knew he was kind of nicked up during the fall 2021. Spring, I mean, fall, last season, excuse me, y'all, I'm tongue tied. Last season, this man played primarily inside. He was a nickel corner, but he also played outside. He didn't even play special teams that much as far as kick returning and punt returning. This man clearly, clearly was still the highlight of the pro day. Like he was the highlight of the day for the pro day. So it's it's remarkable the man he made his bones. He got his money. I'm looking at him probably being at least probably if it's day two or at least day three. Day three, you're looking at probably fourth round, fifth round. I'm looking at probably like a low four, high five, fifth round pick for Isaiah Bolden because clearly he did what he did. He went out there, he performed his ass off. So um another person who another person who kind of stole the show from Pro Day yesterday was Aubrey Miller. Um it's when I'm saying with Aubrey, he is okay, so his measurables is basically Um, his his measurables is basically he's 5'11" and a half. He's probably at 235 right now. Between 229 235. So he's probably in that range. And then he runs like a 4.5. So he runs a 4.5 in a 40, which is not bad. It's not bad at all. And the reason why I say it's not bad, um, is because for him to be a middle linebacker, I mean, he's quick. His lateral movement is off the charts. Um, he benched. I think he did 23 reps on the bench, 225, which is that's even better for a linebacker as his size. And I think he had a 30. His vertical jump was a 30, like almost 34 inches. We talking about this man is straight is a straight beast, and given to be in the right system, um, in which I really want him to come play for my Cowboys. So I want him to come play for the Cowboys. I don't care what anybody say. I want him to come play for the Cowboys. But if he goes to a team that has a strong structure, um, he would be more than successful. And one of the teams I'm looking at, uh, Aubrey might be going to, it's probably like Pittsburgh. You get him in Pittsburgh, you get Aubrey Miller in Pittsburgh. What up, Thetis? uh, you get Aubrey Miller in Pittsburgh, it's over with. It's over. It's over with. We talking about one of the premier organizations who has one of the premier head coaches, and Mike Tomlin. Um, he will get to learn from one of the all around best linebackers, um, in TJ Watt. Like, come on now. He'll be a great fit at middle linebacker for the Steelers. I'm a Cowboys fan, y'all. Y'all look, I'm a Cowboys fan through and through. But him going to the Steelers, that would be a steal, right? That would be an actual steal right there if the Steelers actually get this guy. But we won't know until towards the end of April. Towards the end of April, where he'll go. And let's get to the next one. I think Dallas Daniels said was also good. I didn't get the chance to see. Um, I didn't see how what his 40 time was. Maybe Blue, if you still on here, Blue, if you want to, you can come up. Put the link in the chat. If you come up, you can just tell me um what things about Dallas Daniels, uh other than that he's a straight dog on the field. He's a dog on the field. And I feel like he played out of his position. I feel like he played out of his position. I feel like he should have been playing more inside instead of outside as far as receiver. I think he was the X. I think he was the X receiver last season. Um, I- and I think Shane Hooks was the Z, but I think he should have. I think Dallas Daniels should have been playing more in the slot on the inside. That was your mismatch right there. And he is, and I get you. I think he is coachable. He's very coachable. I think he never had a problem with what he was supposed to do out there on that field. But for me, just by seeing him, I think he's more, like I said, he's more of an inside receiver. I think he can play more on the inside instead of on the outside, because that's where your mismatch is out there. Uh, I don't know his 40 time, but if anybody know what his 40 time was, y'all put it in the chat. I think he's more in a high 4.4. He's quick. He has quick feet. He has quick feet, but I think he's a high 4.4. Oh shoot, he said 4.54. Mm. But that's still not gonna hurt him though, because I mean, him being a route runner, a route technician, that would actually get him drafted. And if he's humble enough to play, uh, 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 to play special teams, that would be good too. And speak of the devil, how you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing? You doing
And
good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to see some of them kids on that McDonald's All American team before I came on the show. You
Oh,
know,
I forgot that was tonight too.
yeah, they started at 9. You know, it's three generations of the Wagners. Milt, Milt's son, and now his grandson is McDonald's All American.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
Shout out to TSU, Texas Southern, the Ocean of Soul,
yeah,
performing at halftime at the Girls McDonald All American game.
oh
So,
yeah. And
so
shout out to that Conference USA with all them teams in that darn somebody in the Final Four, FAU,
yep.
and now they got what's that? North Texas is going to be in the championship of
In
the
the NIT.
NIT, and
Yeah,
UAB is playing now. I think.
yeah. That's a strong conference right there.
I was hoping Miss Timona was on tonight. I know you done heard Rick Pitino told all the kids who played for Mike Anderson to get lost. He cut them all, and there's several. You know, me and Miss Timona be talking about them 6'9s. There's several 6'9s on there. So I want to say to all the SWAT coaches, could you please call them kids at St. John's? Because
Man,
all of them been cut.
oh man. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, that's crazy. But we was talking about the pro day for Jackson State from yesterday, man.
yeah, I heard you talking. That Dallas Daniels kid could come and play for the Falcons right now. I just don't wish that on him. But that kid is legit, man. I hear you talking about him. He can play. Dallas
Oh yeah,
Daniels
he
can
can play.
play. That kid you talking about, that Aubrey Miller, wherever he goes, he gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying that about that Zay Bolden since 2 years ago when he
3
turned
years
it out
ago.
with that special team stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been saying that. Who else made an
Uh,
impact?
we got Jason Mercier. I know he had a pro day.
Yeah, Mercer is a kid from FIU, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was really strong to me at the beginning of the season, but he kind of tailed off at the end. He was 31, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really strong at the beginning of the season, but I thought he kind of tailed off at the end. But he's Mercier is one of them kids can play 2 and 3 positions. He can play in the 4-3, he can play in the 3-3, he can play in the 3-4. You know, he's that kind of guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need somebody like that. Let's see, Nugget. Yeah, forgot about Nugget.
I think
Nugget.
Nugget's gonna do. I think Nugget will make some. Now, personally, I would like to see Nugget go out on the West Coast. I don't know why. Now, one thing I like about them West Coast teams is a lot of them play man to man. I mean,
Hmm.
they lock up. They put them DBs on an island. That would be well. That would do well for Nugget. Nugget would be nice as a Raider, a Charger. That team up there in Seattle.
Hmm.
The 49ers. He'd be
49ers.
nice. He'd be nice with all of them.
Yeah, and Nugget. I about to say Nugget ran his 40 at the HBCU combine,
Hmm.
and he was a 4.38.
Yeah, he's legit.
He
Nugget
he
is. Remember, Nugget was the top DB in the junior college when he came to Jackson.
Yep.
He's legit. I wish him well. I think all them guys are gonna do well, man. I think it's gonna show everybody the kind of talent that has been in Jackson these last 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, of course. Um, uh, because it was combined pro day, so you had not only did you have Jackson State, you had Valley. So
Right.
it was
Right.
Valley's pro
Hmm.
day also. Alcorn, your Mississippi College. Let's see. Um, I think probably Millsap. I think it's all the schools that have football around that's around Jackson within a 2 hour span.
That kid,
So,
that running back from Alcorn, he's coming back, isn't he?
oh
Is
yeah,
that?
Jarvion Howard.
Yeah, he's coming back to Alcorn, right?
He said,
Huh?
he said this is coming from his own mouth.
Uh huh.
Blue, I could, I watched Blue's interview with him earlier.
Right.
He's trying to go for 2,000.
Oh, I can believe that.
He trying to go
If
for
they if they
2,000.
got a decent offensive line, he got that beast mode. Remember that guy that played for the Seattle? Remember beast mode?
Yeah,
Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch.
He's that kind of a back. He's vicious.
Oh
And he
yeah,
runs hard. He runs around. You can run over you. He can do that 2,000. But
oh
now a
yeah.
lot of that's going to depend on that offensive line. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. And I ain't trying to start no mess with them Alcorn people. But listen, y'all need an offense coordinator now. That Elliott, right? What's his name? Rotten or
Right.
whatever. Y'all need offense coordinator. Y'all been need one about the last 2, 3. They say that Fred gets mad with people when you say that, but I got to tell y'all need offense coordinator. Y'all didn't have one since Ryan Stachek left.
Yeah, man. But he said he's trying to go for 1,000.
Oh, he can do it. Now
I mean,
that
he's trying to
guy,
go for 2,000. He trying to
yeah,
go for 2,000.
that guy's a pro, man. That you said what's his name? Ryan, what's his name?
Jarvion Howard.
Man, that boy's a pro, man. He's a pro.
So yeah,
He's a pro.
we man, I want to see him. I want to see him succeed, even though I'm a Jackson State guy. I'm a Jackson State guy through and through. But I want him to see. I want all the kids. I want all the kids to succeed. It don't matter. To me, it don't matter who it is. I want everybody to succeed.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. I was so happy when Alcorn got that guy, man, because he was at Syracuse, I think.
yes, he was.
Yeah,
Shout out. I would get hold on, Mr. Port. Shout out to my boy Israel Carey for the $25 donation. We raising money, raising funds for um, Rolling Fork to make sure they get all their needs and everything. So we put the cash app in. He's monitoring the cash app. So um, and I got you, man. So we gonna get that going right now.
hey, who Adrian Crook calling a hater? Who you calling a hater, man? What are you talking
Adrian,
about?
he's Southern. He a Southern guy. He a
Oh,
Southern.
yeah, yeah. Listen, let me tell you this. Yeah, I'm hard on Southern and my school Grambling because we got to do better. And I keep telling everybody, man, the SWAC, we got Southern and Grambling got to stand up. They got to be Southern and Grambling, especially Grambling.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you're right. I know I am. Okay. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
but he's cool though, man, because he
Did
contributes.
Southern name a basketball coach yet? They didn't do that, did they?
Uh, Let me check and see on that
I
because
hadn't heard. I hadn't seen anything.
I'm hearing rumblings about that.
Yeah, I heard some. I heard some names, but I hadn't heard nothing definitely.
We got Mr. Brown, Jason Brown Senior in the
Oh
he's
yeah.
on the
Oh
chat.
yeah.
So he's in the chat right now. So yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's the Tulane head. It's the Tulane assistant coach Kevin
Oh,
Johnson.
oh, they did get. Yeah, that's. Some of them was talking about the fact that he was on that level that they wanted him at Southern. I did. Yeah. Because I listened to the Carlos Brown show and they called his name out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because to me now, let me be honest with you, man. That would make the swag so much better if Southern is good in basketball.
In
Southern needs to
basketball,
be,
yes.
because personally, to me, Southern is like Florida A&M, Jackson. Those schools should be good in football, women's basketball, men's basketball, baseball, and track and field. And they should have national uh, powerhouses in those sports.
Yeah. But it's a blue blood. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
in basketball, but in football, it's a blue blood.
yeah, and I think it should be a blue blood in basketball. I really do. I think so. When I went up to visit Norfolk State, the school that Norfolk State reminded me of was
Mm-hmm.
Southern. It reminded me of Southern University. I don't know if it's because both of them sit on the water or what, but it reminded me of Southern.
Yeah. But I'm gonna give, like I said, I'm gonna give a shout out to Blue for them interviews that he did earlier today. I mean, with yesterday at the pro day.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard him talking to TC. I enjoyed with Coach TC Taylor. I enjoyed that. He and was it Fredericks? Who was the other guy?
yeah, Coach Frederick,
Coach
Coach
Fredericks. Yeah,
Fred. Uh-huh.
yeah. I did hear that one. I did
Uh,
hear that.
what's going on, Miak Mike? We talked. I mean, I liked when he talked with Coach Dancy because Coach
Yeah,
Dancy
I
he was
saw it.
there.
I didn't get a chance to hear the interview, but I did see it on the when I was looking through that. I did see that when I talked to Dance.
And it pains to see it pains to see him in the Colorado with a Colorado emblem on, but I do not have bitter feelings on how he left Valley.
Oh yeah, I think he'll learn a lot up there, and then he'll possibly make his way back to the MEAC or the SWAC, or possibly another university, PWI. But I think it's a learning experience for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him coming back.
So, and people saying, well, why, I think people, I guess they was asking why he here, but I mean, but like he's supporting the kids that he actually recruited. Ronnie Thomas,
Yeah.
he recruited that kid.
Oh yeah.
So he want to see his kids, succeed and go to the next level. So I give it to him for, actually making his way to Jackson. Um, so I give it, like I said, I give it up to him for coming to Jackson and checking on his kids and
Yeah. Now listen, how many spring games are happening this Saturday?
this Saturday.
Yeah.
I have to see. Let me check because that's another thing I want to talk about too. Those spring games.
I think Southern is one of them, right? Isn't it Southern?
Let me
What about Alabama A&M?
see.
Somebody tell us who's having spring games this Saturday.
Yeah, Golden Boot Pod. My boy from the Golden Boot podcast. He said that Southern is having their spring game this weekend.
Right. And what about Alabama A&M?
Alabama A&M might be on that, but I know we had a list.
Oh, somebody said Alabama A&M is on the 8th.
It's on the 8th. Okay.
Okay, so what about Alcorn? Is that this week?
Alcorn is probably on the same weekend as Jackson. Oh
Wait a
no,
minute.
he's Blake Hawthorne. Okay, Blake Hawthorne. He said Southern and Alcorn is
This week. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That should be really good.
If anybody have a list, send it to me so I can put it on here so we can get to who is playing this weekend, next weekend, the weekend after. I'm trying to figure out
I
what's
saw a
going
list.
on.
Was it HBCU? What was it? I saw a list. Uh, I'm not near my computer, but I saw a list.
I it's it's a but brother Picard, I think it's a double edged sword, but I mean he wanna I just feel like he was there to support his guys.
What is they afraid of? He was going to be poaching players or something?
Yeah, but I don't even think Dancy even like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
even think
listen, I heard that's what Rick Pitino is doing. They said he's going around the country, going especially to these mid majors and telling them boys, listen, come to New York, we'll pay you, and you'll be in Madison Square Garden.
hmm.
Yeah, because they saying he's trying to put together a team, from scratch. He ain't taking none of Mike Anderson's boys.
He said, I ain't trying to hear none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah, I think Coach Danzy will be back. I think he'll probably do maybe 2-3 years, and he'll come back and get a job in the SWAC or the MEAC or somewhere else. I think eventually he'll get a head coaching job somewhere. Because see, this year right here is gonna be hot seat year. You better win this year. Even them people that's got 1 year under their belt, you better win. You better win. I'm telling you now. Because babe, they said these people are impatient. I've talked to you about that, Doc.
yeah, you
There's
did.
a lot of folk in the SWAC now is impatient. They ain't with that. Take 5 years to build. They ain't with that now. Then they ain't gonna go for it. Most of them schools in the SWAC, 2 to 3 years. Listen, you better produce. You better produce.
Yeah, I mean, but to me, I just feel like you gotta do what you gotta do and put the best team out there. Um, and at with that, after when you do that, you should be able to navigate through this whole thing.
Hey, this is Mr. Mona, right? I said she loves thee. Is that Mr.
Uh
Mona?
huh. Uh huh.
She not coming on tonight?
I Is she want? Do you want to come on tonight?
Yeah, she knows she need to come on here.
Tomorrow, come on, tomorrow. I'm about to send you the link.
Yeah,
So
come on. Yeah.
I'm about to send you the link. Yeah. So we getting this. I'm about to trying to get this.
And Doc, what is all this talk about Savion Wilkerson and Malachi Whitman? They left? What's going on?
Uh, I I just heard that this is just what I heard that Savion, he left the team. Um, we don't know why he left or anything like that. We just it's just that he left.
Okay, but now he not is he talking about transferring or that's just he just left the team?
I don't know if he's talking about transferring or not. And
Okay,
it's something
okay.
that I can't even really get into it. Get Mr. Bakari up here. What's going on, brother Bakari? How you doing?
What's going on, my man? Peace. Thanks for letting me up here. What's going on, was fool?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, look, I heard you say Dance is gonna be back. You think he'll be back because this year the hot seat. He ain't never do nothing that valley. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust none of them people coming down from Colorado. Those are not his guys anymore. His guys in Colorado. And I just heard part of his interview with the dude Blue Blood.
Mm-hmm.
He started the interview off talking about how good Colorado is. he's about his experience and that. But if you here for your guys, if somebody even asks you about Colorado, that's not why I'm here. No, man, we can't trust them folks. Look, this is me, right? I know that the JSU thing, hashtag guard the yard, but I say that for black folks. If we gonna guard our thing and we really want to build ourselves up, we can't just let people come in and do what they want to do, man, and just push us around like we are nothing, and they can just do what they want to do. No, he should. I'm being honest. Me, if I was involved, no, you ain't welcome here. Go to the pro day in Colorado. These not your guys anymore. Whoever their head coach is now, that's who's gonna be here representing them. Don't come here. I'm just me. That's me. I'm just saying. If you're truly trying to guard your yard, if black people truly trying to guard what they have,
right.
But if we're not trying to guard it and we're okay with anybody just coming in and people taking it, then hey, it is what it is. But I don't believe in that, so I believe in standing up fighting. So I tell all of them no. None of y'all welcome back.
Hey, Timona.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. I kind of agree with Brother Bakari to a certain extent, but for me, I think that a lot of these student athletes are letting people trick them out of their spot. And what I mean by that is universities have always had the upper hand when it comes to athletes. You're always going to have athletes. Athletes, you're not going to always have schools going after you. Mm-hmm. And with the transfer portal, even more so, schools have the upper hand. It's going to always be next man up. With everybody going to Colorado or kids deciding that they're going to take their chances, a lot of people are going to get stuck in limbo trying to chase after somebody who's obviously shown you that they only care about themselves. They don't care about anything else. They care about themselves, and you're going to end up getting stuck. Go to that transfer portal. If you're not a grad transfer and you don't have enough credits to graduate, now you done lost your scholarship, so you don't have no money to go to school for a full year. Right. And you're going to be sitting out for a year. Are you going to be training that full year? Are you going to take it upon yourself? Do you have the discipline to make sure that you are just as good as the next man up? It's a sticky situation.
No, you correct. You correct. Before we I want to backtrack though, and because I missed before you was talking about the schedule, the spring schedule. So it's up here. So like I said, A&M, Alabama A&M is on the 8th. Let me see, because my eyes suck. So they're on the 8th. You got Bama State is on the 1st. Alcorn's on the 1st. Southern's on the 1st. Look like Texas Southern's on the 15th. So okay. TSU, Jackson, Valley, and FAMU are all on the 15th. Fairview, Grambling, Pine Bluff, and Bethune are on the 22nd.
Okay.
So those are the schedules. That's for the SWAC right there. And because we thought that Valley was going to go and play the spring game on Easter Sunday, and I think that was a typo that we got ahead of ourselves. But no, they're playing on the 15th.
Right.
So now this is the MEAC. The MEAC, pretty much everybody's on the 15th, except for Delaware stays on the 22nd, and looks like Norfolk is on the 8th. So you got Central, Howard, Morgan, and South Carolina State are going to be on the 15th,
Okay.
which that's a good deal right there.
Yeah. That Dawson is on the hot seat up there at
Oh yeah,
Norfolk.
he was on a hot
Yeah,
seat
he
last
got the
season.
win, man.
You got the SIAC. So you got Albany State has their spring game coming up Saturday.
Oh, they
Uh,
do?
yes, they do.
Woo.
You got Allen Benedict. Uh, it looks like Clark Atlanta and Miles and South Carolina. I mean, not South Carolina. Savannah State
Mm-hmm.
are all on the 8th. Uh, the 15th, you got Lane. You got uh Edward Waters, and they are on the they are on the 15th. Um, you got Central State on the 22nd.
Hey, if anybody's on here from Albany State, could you tell us who's on Quinn Gray's staff?
Man, I
I've
want to
been
know
trying to find that out. I can't find it out.
what's going on, DJ.
Yo, what's good? Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, family.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. You know, it's always good to hear the wisdom of Mr. Ford, man.
Hey,
And
how you doing?
man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here long, but I'm going to say something strong, family. Just hearing everybody speak this year, starting now, but continuing, it's very important that all HBC players, teams, etc., is talked about because this is poaching season,
Mm,
and these Power Fives are poaching players from all HBCUs.
Yeah, they are.
And if I was Jackson State, if I'm FAMU or anybody, I'm not trusting a damn thing. And I hate to be that guy, but I'm just being real. I don't care if they your friends or because what they do now, they're gonna be like, well, it increases my chances of going to the NFL
Yeah.
if I go to a PWI and leave
yep,
my brothers behind.
behind. Yep.
This is the mindset that has crept in, and
And they
I
don't
hate
even have
it.
to prove themselves. Colorado has not sent a significant amount of people to the NFL in the last couple of years.
Oh, it's been a
Exactly.
They
long
don't
time.
even have
It's
to.
been a
They
minute.
don't even have to
Yeah.
prove anything. They're just going based off of what Dion was able to do. But Dion was winning.
Oh, and speaking of Colorado, since you said it, my sister, Colorado will be lucky to even win 5 to 6 games. They need to worry about actually winning something is established culture instead of poaching and trying to take it. And you know what's so sad that football's supposed to be a brotherhood, especially your former coaches. You would think that they would try to leave them off a good enough team to, and I think Jackson State's still going to have a great team, but still, you would think that they would try to leave them off just enough players
Right.
for the head coach to dominate. And
He
I,
wants
I
them to
just
start
don't.
from scratch. You are so right. You're right when you said it. He wants us to start from scratch. But
Uh huh.
the one that I think you're correct when you say that it's supposed to be a brotherhood. It's supposed to be a reach back.
Yes.
But instead of it being a reach back, it's like you said, they're trying to poach. But see, I think that this was always the plan was to gradually have kids leave the team, gradually have kids enter to the portal. But what they didn't anticipate is change the rules now. So anybody that enters into that transfer portal in May, if they are not graduating, they're going to be stuck for a minimum of a year. So you just lost your privileges for a year. You can't
Hmm.
go to Colorado and play automatically. You're gonna have to sit out a year.
I'm telling you, man. I'm not trying to tell Jackson State what to do, but this is what I would do because I was raised on preserving what you have to keep it stronger.
Yeah.
If you're not a part of our team, you don't need to be in our facilities. You don't need
Right.
to be in that vicinity. None of that. Because at 1400 Lynchburg, it's all JSU. And if you ain't down with that, then respectfully, you can't be around us. That's exactly what I would do. And some people say it's harsh, but it wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't a bunch of poaching going on.
That's true.
This is toxic coaching behavior.
Yeah.
Let's call it out.
Yeah.
Can I say something right quick?
They're
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
using
I'm gonna
players.
say something right. This is me, my mindset, right? Because I see things. We got to understand, man. And if we gonna be honest, these folks been at war since they met us. And I heard what Doc said about uh he think Dance is a nice guy. Well, that's how they send the missionaries in and set everything up. So even if they wouldn't poach you, you stay away from here. This ours. We have to protect what ours. And I'm just being. If we don't protect what ours, we have just accepted the. We have accepted the fact that what we can't compete. We don't even want to compete. We're not trying to compete. So I saw somebody mention Eddie George. What Eddie George said on Shannon Sharp. I liked everything Eddie George said except one thing. When Shannon Sharp asked him about building the players up and keeping you here, and one thing Eddie George said, that mindset was, well, if I build them up and they're good enough to go to FBS, that still look good for us. No, it's not. That don't look good for you. Because if you build them up and they're good enough to go play at FBS, then get to the league, they don't represent Tennessee State. They represent whatever school they went to. He had, and I liked what Eddie George said, except that one point. Man, eventually we gonna have to stand up, man. And I'm being honest, it's about power. And if we don't think it's about power, why do you think when North Carolina A&T was whooping everybody in track, the University of the state of North Carolina started changing rules about how many people the HBCUs can get from out of state in the state of North Carolina. They had so many players, North Carolina A&T, they had so many people out of state. North Carolina A&T had to pay. They had to pay. They had to lose some of their funding by paying. That's what they said, pay. So they shorted them like whatever funding they give them, like couple of $1 million.
Yeah.
Man,
2 million.
these people want control and power over black people. And
Mm-hmm.
they got black people who's willing to work for them. And I call it the sellout tribe. And they've been selling us out. And none of them should be allowed, period. If y'all not with us, the HBCUs can rock together, but all them FBS Power 5 schools, no, none of y'all welcome here because it's about power. And that's what they want, power and control. And me being a black man, I'm tired of them having power and control over us and our mind and everything that we do. I yield, Mike.
And
You know what, brother?
can I say this real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, correction. Sorry, I don't know why I said Lynchburg, Lynch Street. My bad. I got family in the military, so Lynchburg, Virginia, like Lynchburg is always a Lynchburg. But everyone is being trill and real on the subject, man. I'm telling you, man. It like the brother just Bakari, he pointed out, the players that were already at Colorado, it tells you how bad they are where they have to poach from Jackson State.
Yeah.
Their own homegrown talent was not even good enough.
There's not that many football players in Colorado. They usually have to go to California or Texas to get their football players.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, but Bakari, you said something that kind of, I didn't say he struck a nerve, but it made me think. You said that they sent the nice guy, like the missionary, to come and teach the ways of what you're supposed to do
He's
in your first.
absolutely correct.
I never thought about it like that.
The book is
Thank
called
you.
Things Fall Apart. That's
Thank
what it's
you.
about. It's called
They
Things Fall
gave
Apart by Chinua and
Native
Chevy.
Americans, right? They gave
Thank
Native
you for giving
Americans
me.
disease blankets. They said, "Here's a gift for
Yeah,
you." It was wrapped nicely, and it was full of diseases that wiped
yeah,
out,
smallpox.
wiped them
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yeah,
Man, Bakari,
So
thank you
I
for
think
giving me that light right there.
disrespectful, yeah,
yeah. The
disrespectful for
book is
Coach
called
Dancy
Things
to have
Fall
Colorado.
Apart.
You you wouldn't even have walked into my facility with a Colorado shirt on. I'm just being real. You would have got chin checked at the door. You're not coming into our space disrespecting disrespecting like that, saying that you're representing for Valley, but you got that on. Valley actually has a new coach, Coach Wade, and he can stand in your stead because I'm pretty sure that Coach Hugh Freeze is not going back to Liberty's pro day. Like, do you think he's there? Do you think that the current Texas State football coach is going to Incarnate Words uh, pro day? No.
You
What
you
are
you
y'all
no, you
doing?
correct. You
And
correct. You correct.
I, I,
Yeah.
I just and I it's been talked about, but the thing with poaching players and the dynamic, it's kind of like an unwritten rule. The reason why colleges are able to do it so successfully is because, number one, if you're a student athlete, you not be on the end of snitching on,
You break.
because
I was
if
about
your
to say you
name is
breaking up.
revealed, then that could possibly. Hello, can you hear me?
I was saying you were breaking up for a second. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh,
We can hear you. Yeah. Uh oh. But but what he said though, man, it just that it's true. It's true. So um, in a sense, I kind of take back what I said. But with Coach Dancy, that's the only thing. Like I said, you. I mean, you gonna pub Colorado, but you don't need to be there just to, you know what I'm saying. You got your people there. You, Coach Wade is there, so he's not, it's not like he don't know what he's doing. So he's there. He's doing his job. He wants to see the kids, succeed. I mean, I know everybody wants to see these kids succeed, but in a sense, yeah, yeah, you could have watched it on YouTube or something, bro. You could have watched it on YouTube.
And,
And then, a lot of things that was going on. People hitting me up like, man, you heard what Savion and Jarente Davis. I'm like, hey, they ain't there. If they ain't there, they ain't there. Like we,
That's
uh,
right. That's
we
right.
mhm.
we got like, if you decide, and tomorrow you said the same thing on Saturday. If you decide to enter your tail in that portal, we just gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? We got to move on because in a sense, you got to look at college football is a business. This is you know what I'm saying? This is a business. I understand some, kids has personal stuff going on in their life or whatever they got going on. But for these coaches, their jobs depend on the student athletes out there playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
ain't no way I would have jeopardized my time, because anybody can say Deion Sanders
Mhm.
Hall of Famer, but how many people can say your offensive coordinator is Maurice Harris and he got a first round pick? Ingram, tight ends. Malik Willis, quarterback, third round. We have somebody who actually has gotten somebody drafted the first through the third round. You can't say that about Deion Sanders.
And
So
and like I said, when people say like, well, look, that the way you got here to Jackson State is pretty much the way you can get somewhere else. I'm not I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm not saying nothing to be demeaning towards the kids or anything like that. But the same way you got to Jackson, it'd be the same way you gonna get somewhere else.
And
Only
brother
thing,
Dog, don't forget, Coach TC Taylor has shown the ability to recruit at a high level. What
yeah,
he loses, he's gonna add on in tenfold.
right.
So
I
I'm not
mean,
even worried about it. Because let's
right.
keep this in perspective. The only players that we all that's listening should worry about are those who are committed and loyal to HBCUs. I'm not
Right.
trying to be mean to the ones that leave, but they don't matter. Once they leave, they don't matter. I don't follow them. I don't do none of that. Some people say it's petty, but this is the mindset we got to have to really grow our own.
No,
You
and that's cool. That's true.
Oh,
That's
I
true.
really
Like,
would like somebody to mentor them before they make these rash decisions, though, because it's not like these new. And that's why I said I think this was all planned out, which is that there was a plan to continually have these players enter into the portal or fall off, except for they didn't anticipate that the NCAA would introduce this new rule, which means if your coach changes, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to change your major and they don't have your major at school, it doesn't matter. If you lose your scholarship, it does not matter. You will not get a waiver. So you are jeopardizing at best 1 year. If you're not graduating, you're going to sit out a year. And then are you going to be ready for that next year? And then to say, is your coach that's recruiting you and telling you to come and follow them, are they even still going to be at the school? It's a lot that you're risking, especially for some of these kids who you guys were primed to be possibly what, first team all SWAC,
mm-hmm.
making 1,300 plus yards, or a certain amount of tackles because you're next man up. So you have that under your belt. And like you said, DJ, you said that the recruiting, y'all watch and see how many offers have been going out recently, and how many kids are coming to these spring practices. They're not playing. Next man up.
See, players like Niles Gaddy has something to prove, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
you hear Aubrey Miller talk, those are the type of players. I'm being honest. And when you hear these young men like Narik Sharp,
Right.
young men like Tristan Sion, when you hear
Mm-hmm.
these young people talk and they want to deal and they want to be around black people and they want to build something black great, those are the players we need. See, I'm gonna tell you some people like some of these people in the chat. Rev call them DDRs, right? And that's what I call them too. But I'm telling you, the hate that black people have for HBCUs is. I did a show the other day. I called it "You Want to Smoke?" I got the whole thing was people on there want to debate how bad HBCU were, and they have never been, didn't know nobody went to an HBCU, don't know nothing. Black people have a problem with black people in charge. Black people would rather see a coon like D, and yes, he a coon. Because I knew stuff about Dion before he went there. I thought he was going to do 5 years. Some people down there had already showed me who he was doing business with. So when he said he's friends with the governor of Mississippi, that don't
Mm-hmm.
surprise me. Friends with Brett Favre, that don't surprise me, right? Because I'd
Yeah.
already known. So I thought
That was
he
his teammate.
I thought he was going to be there 5 years, but he came in talking his black talk. He has started dealing with David Banner. But black people would rather see one celebrity go be around white people because we think our success to show our greatness is to get as far away from black people as possible and be the one Negro,
Mm.
next to white folk. So, but then you get there and you want to try and take an black culture with you because you realize you're in a city with 170,000 people that's 1% black.
Right.
You at a school with 30,000 students, 645 black. But for some strange reason, black people see that as success. Black people can give black people their best, but we would rather accept white people's worst. And that's a mindset. When Dion was talking and taking shots, well, Jackson State, their thinking is backward. No, his thinking is backward. Jackson State gave them their best. He got part of the money from ticket sales. His son, they put his son on the map with Well Off Media. He got fired at Colorado in 5 days. But in their mind, being next to them is better. It's like what the old folk, what they say, the white man ice is colder. A black person's best is less than a white person's worst. Just think about that mindset that black people have. That's why I'd say Tamika Reed, and she might eventually leave if Jackson State can't get her up to 250,000 at least, and that's where she need to be. Memphis coach was making like 350. Jackson State, because she need to be around that. But it wouldn't be the same if she left. Like the wide receiver coach that left. RJ, he didn't, when he left, he said nothing negative. I don't even know how long, said nothing negative.
He's
Everything
only in for a couple of months.
Everything Dion did, he attempted to tear down. Ed Reed and Bethune-Cookman, who's trying to follow Dion, when he put out that statement about they mad at me cussing, but they didn't say nothing about students getting shot on campus. Go read the story. Nobody was on campus when they got shot. Kind of sound like Deion Sanders, right? Their goal is not to build up black people. They had a talent, played football, made money, and they know the people who hire them, they know black people look up to a celebrity as if a celebrity give a damn about them, and they know black people will follow a celebrity, and black people don't care. Poor black folk don't care about a celebrity tearing down poor black folk. They are so happy to see it. It's a mental problem. Our thinking is backwards. A lot of it. It's a mental problem. How can poor black folk be so happy to see Dion disrespect the people that put him on the map when he couldn't get a job nowhere else? No white school would deal with it, but poor black people is okay that poor black people did their best to give him what they had. Poor black people celebrate when he says something negative about black people and about a black school where there's the black president, majority blacks, 95% black student population. They celebrate when these celebrities say something negative about black people, but he ain't said nothing about that crime high on the rise in Colorado.
Hold on. Hey, you said a word, right, man? Look, you just said a word, bro. You just said a word. So, I mean, this, man, that's a lot. I put this up here, y'all. I had put this up here because this is my guy, Gerald Huggins. He used to be defensive lineman over at Virginia Union, and he also does coaching. So he puts out there, he says, too many players are using HBCUs like JUCOs, and I'm not feeling it. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that statement right there?
Say the statement again. I ain't say it again.
So he said, this is my guy, Gerald. We call him G. He said, too many players are using HBCUs like the JUCOs, and it's not sitting well with him.
It don't sit well with me either. That we're allowing people to treat us like that. We still allow people to treat us like we're nothing. With everything our ancestors did, with everything that our family fought for, you understand? With everything we've been through in this country, trying to build ourselves up, dealing with these people, with everything, right?
Right.
We still, in 2023, nothing they do surprise me. But one of the most surprising things is how we allow this stuff to constantly happen to us without standing up, without black men. I ain't talking about the black male. It's a different than a male and a man. Trust me when I say that. But black men, we got to stand up and we got to go out to your. I'm a firm believer in if the black men play their role, the black woman gonna play their role. And they wouldn't treat us like this if we stopped them from treating us like this.
Right.
You stop them from treating you like this at home. My son is a sophomore at Jackson State, right? He from the 5th grade on, every summer, from the 5th grade until he graduated high school, he had a scholarship to go to this white school in Boston, some prestigious school, talking about what they can do for him, right? I asked my son, because I know I raised my children, I know I've been teaching but I asked him his 7th grade year, do you want to go? He was like, no. I was like, why? He said, Dad, they trying to make me be white. I don't want to be white. Say, that's what they want to do. I said, you're right. So that means you listen. My son chose Jackson State when he was 10 years old.
Right.
We went to visit. He chose Jackson State at 10 years old. But that's how we have to be, man. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I heard people bragging on Georgia, the way they beat TCU in the in the national championship game. When you look at that field, who was out there on that field? Black people, right?
That's correct.
They made us pick cotton. They made us pick tobacco. We built a country with a whip on our back, dogs at our heels, guns to our head. They don't make us go and play. Georgia netted $40 million last year off the back of all that black talent, just their football. Alabama netted 65, just their football, 65 million. Neither one of them was in the top 5. Total, everything Alabama made was $175 million from that black talent. And we're okay with giving all our skills, our athletic talent, our brain talent, everything we have, we're okay with giving it to them, then turn around and talk negative about ourselves. And on that, I'm going to give the mic. Somebody else probably got something they want to say.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I think we went to church today. But with that statement, yeah, I feel like they're using it as a JUCO instead of going to a JUCO. They're using it as a JUCO to get to where they need to go, to a Power 5, and I just feel like it's not right. And when when we say guard the yard, I think that's what everybody needs to do. Not just even Jackson State, but like every HBCU out there needs to guard their yard, because of the simple fact that people come in and they poach it. They poach our talent. It's to the point where your talent's being poached. And I remember Mr. Ford. I think we talked about this last month. Integration was the death knell for HBCU's football and sports. HBCU sports. I remember we was talking about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We said
Yeah.
it was the death knell.
Yeah.
Not not segregation, not to desegregate, but to integrate into their way.
Yeah.
Their world was the death knell for
Yeah,
HBCU sports.
it diluted our strength. It
Right.
diluted our strength. I've enjoyed Mr. Bakari because he's so right on so many points. Basically, history is repeating itself. 70 years ago, we had something called the Negro Leagues, and what they're doing to black college football, that's really the way that they destroyed the Negro Leagues.
Mm-hmm.
They took Jackie Robinson away from the Kansas City Monarch, and in doing that, they made the Brooklyn Dodgers the second richest team in the major leagues behind the New York Yankees. But at the same time, it was the beginning of the destruction of the Negro Leagues. And the thing that's so important about that is because at the time they started destroying the Negro Leagues, baseball, it was the largest black business in America. Not only did it fund baseball teams, but it funded black gas stations, black hotels, black barbershops, a lot of different black businesses, and that was taken from us. So we're kind of at the same point that we were in the 40s when there were so many black people who just thought it was so great to give up the Negro League so that one black man could play for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of back to that again. You made a good point. Historically, when blacks separate themselves or segregate themselves from white people, God blesses us financially. That's history. You go back and look at the UNIA. The UNIA was buying gigantic ships. You look at what was happening at Tuskegee. You look at what was happening with the Nation of Islam. Anybody that segregates or separate themselves from white America, God blesses them. That's history.
And we can see it in our HBCU games, our football games.
Yeah.
That's why I said, you guys got to stop with all this. Let's just do a money game and get $300,000 from here. We know we're going to lose and possibly have injured players, but let's get this $300,000. When y'all can get $300,000, if you just do it right, you can get $300,000 from one of your biggest rivalry games. You can get that and turn it into a money game and have the best FCS attendance for that particular game.
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah, man. It's something that we need to talk. We need to talk about on this one. But yeah, like going back. I didn't know Jarente was in the portal. I didn't know. Um, like I said, I thank you for your contributions. You did well on the field. Um, I hope you find something that uh you find a place that will appease you, and you become successful. But if I'm TC right now, like you said, they enter the transfer portal and they decide, well, they can't find a place to go, or the new rules coming up, that they haven't, they can't, they have to sit out a year. Um,
At this point, I would just go
I
ahead and
won't
get
want you back.
you.
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't think they're going to be missed. Like somebody just put in the chat, there's so many kids lined up that want to go to Jackson State.
Oh yeah,
Listen,
line
they
up
can
out
go
the
on.
door.
Buy Jarante. Ain't nothing going to stop. It's still going to be 60,000 people in the vet. They still going to win the SWAC. They going to win the Celebration Bowl. So by Jarente leaving, by Malachi leaving, by what's that tall kid from Ohio? What's his name?
Shane Hooks.
Shane Hooks leaving. That ain't stopping nothing. So bye.
I just didn't want, and that's the thing. Like once you step out into that realm, like you said, there's not really a way to kind of float and step back. And then you also have to understand that while Jackson State would love to have all the players that were already there, um, coaches build their teams differently. They look for different types of players. The type of player that Coach TC Taylor might be looking for in a wide receiver or a linebacker. They all have new coaches, so their recruiting is different. So the only thing that you're doing is you're giving that particular position coach one more extra spot so that they can recruit a player to their liking, to their measurables that they want to see.
Right.
So I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing. You're just giving someone who really wants to go to Jackson State, number one, an opportunity. So we know if you're committing to Jackson State that you want to be there, but you're also giving the position coaches a chance to build the team how they want to, and not, that gives them a extra scholarship.
I,
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to compete. I'm just being honest. Some of those players are leaving
no,
because
you good. You right.
this, this is my opinion. Some of them leaving because they know what's supposed to be coming. Some people don't want to compete. I didn't know. So Malachi, why he gone? Because he was in Ken chat last night going off because Savion. He's like, man, forget he was going off because Savion left, and like the hell with him, he left us. So I'm confused about him. I didn't know he was. After watching some of the stuff he was putting in the chat, I thought he was still at Jackson State. Forget him, he left us. But I don't think he was saying it that night. They had to kick him out the chat.
Mm.
That's he was.
I, I
He
didn't
was,
even hear about that.
he was going off, and his name on like his social media, he Mighty Mile. Yeah, Isias Guthrie was in there. Mile, chill out, bro, chill out. It was a few JSU players in there telling him to chill out, relax. He was going off in the chat.
But I think that's the passion for with me. I think that's the passion for Malachi, because I don't think he came to Jackson State for just Dion. I think he actually came for a actual fresh start, but he just had some obstacles in his way. Like last season, I think he just got done. I think he got done wrong from last season. They said that wasn't Malachi in the
Yeah,
chat.
that what I was just. I stand corrected, but that was his social media name because people was telling me about him. So I said, let me see who he is. Mighty Miles. So I thought that was him. My bad. I stand corrected. I was wrong.
Hmm. But I mean, to me, if Malachi is gone, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I think, like I said, thank you for your contributions, for what you've done for JSU. I hope wherever you go in your future endeavors, you prosper wherever you go.
I just need somebody to be a voice of reason though in that building, whether it's another student athlete or an advisor who does their schedules,
Hmm.
to say, look, this is what you're looking at. You cannot, you're okay. So Jackson State, regardless of Dion being gone, Jackson State is going, everybody's going to be looking at Jackson State as far as what are they going to do next season. You, all of your games are still going to be on ESPN. Who thought that those were going to disappear? They're not. They're still going to be on ESPN. I would even venture to say some of the bigger games, they're going to be on ESPN 3 or 2 as well, just because of the amount of views they got. They might pull those, still pull those games, because it's not about it the calling card was Dion, but ESPN taking a gamble and saying, let's see how this game does on ESPN 3 without Dion, they very well could do that just to see, because these of the amount of viewers. So for some of these players like Mighty, excuse me, Malachi, this would have been his redemption season. I don't know
Right.
how this would have been his Savion Wilkerson, who decided to leave. First of all, you was looking at 1,300 plus yards. You know they would have put you in prime to either beat
He was
whatever it
born.
was. I
He
mean,
could
you
have beat the single season record for rushing.
right, and then Juriante Davis. You Niles Gaddy, y'all are all next man up. Are you
Hey,
really
this
going?
listen, me ain't Mike. This what you saying right here is effeminate. This is crazy. What are
Okay.
you talking about? You said, Mr. Ford, so you can't win the Celebration Bowl with an All-Star team, but you're gonna win the Celebration Bowl without any All-Stars. Swag logic is outrageous. No, Mike, are you having a nervous breakdown or something? What's wrong with you? You got a problem? What's going on?
Uh oh. But I this hey this is what Mr. Brown says. Shout out to Mr. Brown. Said lost QB, your top QB, your top running back, top 5 wide receiver from last year. It just makes Jackson State and TC look better when we walk out of Atlanta with that trophy. That is a bold statement to
That
say.
that's the thing though.
And
We
that's
we replaced it. We got Seven McGee,
That's what I'm
Mulligan,
saying. You just said
like
the next
like
man up.
we replaced all of it. That's the thing. And then that's the thing. You're the students are hurting themselves. If you're not a grad transfer, you're hurting yourself, because
hmm
now you have to enter into that transfer portal and you're sitting out for a minimum of a year. Unless you can prove that you had some type of mental health complication, you're sitting out a year. So now you done lost your scholarship, which means you don't know where you're going. And even if you do know where you're going, you still don't have a scholarship for that year.
yeah,
Now
it's
your name's out of the limelight. Don't
and,
let
and
this man trick you about your spot.
and it's a lot. Y'all gotta understand, man. People gotta understand. It is a lot of kids in that damn transfer portal. It's a lot of kids in there. They are
Yeah,
in limbo.
yes, it is. Look, this is something we need to tell our children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to Nick Saban. He don't want those black children to get no money. People can say what they want, or one player might get an NIL, the rest of them get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Dion, since he left, he wants the same thing. So why y'all running to people? Why y'all okay? We need to talk to these parents. Why are we still okay with them people getting filthy rich off us and we ain't getting a damn thing, man?
Or
Hmm.
Why?
why are
It's
you
called
requesting
Stockholm syndrome.
why are you requesting for an NIL deal or a car or an apartment, or why are you requesting for these things that you would have never have asked Coach Prime to give you? That's just disrespectful. You getting dismissed just off of the disrespect. If I know that there's certain things that you wouldn't do for the previous coach because you had that respect, and you disrespect me by either making those type of requests, or you know you're not supposed to be late for practice and you late for practice, you're going to get dismissed, Because at this point, you disrespected me, and you would never disrespect the last coach. You definitely not getting ready to disrespect me. So that means I need to bring in players who, off the rip, they're going to respect me because I recruited them and I chose for them to be here.
And great
Exactly.
point. Great points. And here's the positive that a lot of people are not talking about. It's empowering when a coach and the coaching staff says they're not minding their own business, players leaving, and they're reloading their messages through their moves. And their moves are, you can be replaced. They're saying it respectfully. We only want
Mm-hmm.
players that love JSU. We only want players that love HBCUs. So if you leave, that's cool. We're going to replace. And we're going to keep this train rolling. That's empowering. I don't give a damn who says otherwise. So I'm
Right.
loving what I'm seeing from TC. I don't care if they have an 8-3 record. What they had to go through, losing players, and and now this year's SWAC is as tough as it's been in years, because you know they're going to
Mm-hmm.
try to compare seasons. Man, I can't wait for the fall season.
Man, it was, if you try to compare seasons, the season that you really want to compare this year is back in the 90s. If you really think about it, you season you want to compare, but this year better compare it back in the 90s. Is like I said, Zoe already put it out there.
Dark
He
side defense, a big daddy.
he put it out there last week. He told everybody how it was going to be last week. He said this is going to be reminiscent of W.C. Gordon, James Big Daddy Carson, and a little bit of Judge in there too. He
And
said
you,
that,
and then just for that, because we know that defense really held us last season.
right?
Defense was the core of the team. 97, 98, and 99, which is Jeremiah Williams, Humphreys, and Devontae Davis. They're still there. Gaddy still there. So I mean, that's four players right there.
And,
Next man up.
yeah,
Look
it's
at
all
that.
it is. It's all it is. It's always going to be the next man up. You got to think like that. And if you really think, you got to be understanding. Like it's the same thing in the NFL. NFL, shoot, you get hurt. Hey man, look, take care of yourself. Let's go sign this player off the field, off the street, or we can get this guy off the bench. Get him ready. Basketball the same way too. You know, it's not just those major sports. It's all sports you play. Like if it's a team game, it's every sport that you play that's a team game. Next person up.
You see that from Coach Perry, the safety core will be better. I'll go a step further. This is the best safety coverage unit that I've seen in Jackson State for a long time. They could cover a size Guthridge, could play safety, corner, nickel. Jackson State has never had a safety this talented. And I'm a big fan of Shiloh, but I'm talking about coverage. Yeah, real
Yeah.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, you got a lot of people up here. I'm gonna step down and keep listening, but I appreciate Israel Carey steady putting that in. Y'all do them my people in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. I grew up in
Hey
Glen
man.
Allen, Mississippi. I'm about 10 miles from Rolling Fork. The tornado. Where I'm from, it ain't even like it's a little hole. Can't even we ain't never had a natural disaster, nothing. Can't nothing. You can't find it because ain't no sign. If you ain't going to it, you ain't gonna know where that. But them
Yep.
my people, man. I grew up hanging out with folks over there, Rolling Fork and Gwilla. So appreciate that. So them my peoples down there, man. So yeah, so we appreciate that, man. Yeah. So
So
that's
did you know Spencer Haywood?
huh?
Did you know Spencer Haywood?
I know of Spencer Haywood. I know the name Spencer Haywood. You ever heard of okay, you ever heard of Greenville, Mississippi?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, we say Greenville because that was like our biggest town close to us. They had them all in
Right.
it. But I'm closer to I'm gonna tell you, I knew when I asked you about Slick Watts, I knew his son, Tony Watts.
Okay.
It's a couple. I knew his youngest son, Tony Watts. Slick wasn't in Rolling Fork no more. Slick was in, I guess he was in Seattle.
Okay.
But he used to. I've seen him before though, and I knew. Shit, there was a couple players from Rolling Fork, well, that went to school in Rolling Fork, because everybody they may have gone to Rolling Fork High School, like little towns. It was like Milesville. They didn't have a school, so they went to school in Rolling Fork. So some people went to Rolling Fork High, and they wasn't from Rolling Fork, like Anguilla. Right now, the people from a little town called Anguilla, they'll go.
Mm-hmm.
So if it say Rolling Fork High School, they're not necessarily from Rolling Fork. They could be from another little town. They could be from another little town right next door to it in the same county or whatever. But yeah, but they're my people down there. That's what, like I said, I grew up hanging out there, you know, in the 90s. Yeah,
So
them
okay, Zoe said Spencer Haywood is from Silver City.
Silver City ain't that far. Silver City like about 10 minutes from there.
You know what? I ain't never heard of Silver City. I know Spencer Haywood, but I don't know Silver. I have never heard of Silver City. Just like if you meet somebody from Silver City, they'll probably tell you they ain't never heard of the little town I'm from called Glen Island. But but that's what but they're my people down there. That's what we used to go hang out. We used to have this club called the Rocking Chair. When I was growing up, that's where we used to go hang out at. Yes, they're my people down there.
Man.
Yeah, so appreciate that. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off because you got more people up here. But Raw Truth Media, I'll be watching you too. I watch your videos too when you put them up. So
Thank you so
anybody,
much, brother.
anybody talking is HBCU, I watch it and I support it because there's so much hate out here for us.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, and you know we've been underfunded. Everything that we have done more with less than anybody, and we got too many of our people want to continue to see us in this position. But we about to rise up, not just at the HBCU. We rising up as a people, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing. We gonna guard who we are. We gonna take care of who we are. They're not gonna get our culture, and they're gonna stop getting all our talent, our intellectual talent, and our athletic talent. More of that gonna start coming home because we got to start teaching that being proud to be black again. And on that note, man, peace and one love. And Mr. Ford, it was good being She Loves D. It was good.
All right.
Well, peace.
All right now. All right now, brother Bakari. Yeah. Yeah. Got Randy up here. What's going on, Randy?
What's happening, Doc? How you doing, bro?
Man, don't tell me you're going through the Poconos right now.
You know I am, bro.
Yeah,
You
you
know
going through the mountains, bro. Come on now.
yeah. But listen, I don't know, man. I just think that Jackson State's team is just going through like they're literally reloading, right?
Right.
And I really think that TC Taylor is going in another direction as far as the athletes that he really wants. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So as I see them, potentially leaving, but he's bringing in like bigger players of the same skill sets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he asked those guys to leave,
Nah,
but
I don't think he.
you know,
Nah,
nah,
I
nah,
don't.
I don't, but I think a lot of those cats saw like the writing on the wall, you know, and like it's either that or it's like off the field stuff, you know. So like if I was a fan of Jackson State or whatever, I wouldn't even worry because I think they're they're going to be better because they're going to be tighter. You know what I mean? Like they're going to play for not just a coach. They're going to play for the school. They're going to play for the city. They're going to play for the. You know what I'm saying? So, like I don't see them losing maybe a Swagum game or nothing because they still got more talent. You know what I mean?
I,
So, you know,
I
huh?
said I'm gonna say it just like this, and shout out to my guy Israel. You know, he in the chat right now. He's been pushing the thing for we donating for Rolling Fork. But we talked about this. You know, I was on my way home, but we talked about this. He he mainly said, "Look, um, baby TC just purging the roster."
Says drop the link.
Okay, he said maybe he's purging the roster. Maybe he wants to purge the roster. Maybe he wants to see what he got, and he want to bring in the people that he want, to come in.
Of course, because he's bringing in a brand new offense, and those kids, you know, they probably got the numbers last year, but they don't want to split time next year. I can see that, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
they just making a decision. Is that me?
no, that's me. That's me.
Oh, okay.
I had to plug in the
So,
thing. No, but
you
no,
know
I
my
understand.
phone out back.
But I understand where you come from.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah, because I can see. Look, Doc, I can see T.C. Taylor last year saying, if this was my team, I would have do this. I would do that. When like Prime probably did something totally opposite. You know what I'm saying? So he sat back and learned. Now he got the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And now he's just doing this thing. Because I did hear him say that he wanted to get bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and you know, I
No,
saw
I feel what you're saying, Rick.
yeah,
I feel what you're saying. I appreciate what you're saying because,
yeah,
like, it's just like we said. He want. I mean, if he gonna purge the roster, he has the right to do that.
of course
He
he
has
does.
every right to do that. It's just like we said. He wants. I mean, if he gonna purge the roster, he has the right to do that.
Yeah,
He has every right to do that. It's just like we said. He wants. I mean, if he gonna purge the roster, he has the right. Who got it? Who got echo? Okay. He has every right to do that. It's just like we said. He wants. I mean, if he
that's
gonna
you,
purge the
Doc. I
roster,
think.
who got it? Oh, who got echo? Okay. Hold on. Yeah, I think we got.
Yeah, because you know what I really think he's doing is he's setting his team up to compete with the MEAC. You know what I mean? Because both times, I hate to say it, but they got handled up on front.
No,
You know?
you right. You right. I'm not saying it. What you saying right now, as far as football term, and what happened with us last season,
Uh-huh.
is totally correct. We got we
Yeah,
got we got to take it to the woodshed.
yeah,
We got to take it to the
yeah.
woodshed. And to me, it we saw the writing on the wall. You gotta give it up to him for going out there doing the type of recruit that he has done.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
Your mic is staticky.
okay, because I'm trying to charge this damn thing up. My bad. No, you good. I'm good. But I understand where you coming from, Randy. Let me see if I
Yeah.
get Zoe up in here.
Brother Zoe.
What's good, y'all? Look,
Good.
I heard a few comments. I did want to address some of it. First thing first, no, there is no purge, and no, there aren't any off the field issues that guys are having. So that's not happening either. And there's not a purging of the roster. Without saying too much,
Okay.
the roster, for all intents and purposes, is set the way the coaching staff wants it. There are going to be some more changes that's going to be coming up next month when the portal opens back up.
Right.
But for all intents and purposes, the roster's set. They have some, things in mind that they want to do, players that they, going to get. We're going to have some announcements coming up here pretty soon but there's not this whole makeshift thing where we're trying to, get rid of or expunge a lot of players and replace them with others. There are some, in particular, there are going to be some more movement, but no wholesale drastic changes. But
So
they are targeted to some players.
Nothing like what Dion did for the last 2 years when he was there.
What was that?
Nothing like what Dion did for the last 2 years when he was there, as far as purging the whole roster, like
No.
Okay, that's cool.
No, you're too talented.
Well, I mean
he's not
but
perfect.
let me say this too, because I feel like in this space, at least on Doc's platform, it's kind of hard to separate real football logic or real football conversation. That's why Ken and I sometimes will use the term, and I'll say, "Hey, I'm about to take my blue and white glasses off." I know
Right.
I can be a fan like anybody else, but I know when I'm doing that. You know what I mean? But I can sit there and say,
Right.
"Let me take my blue and white glasses off. I'm taking my fandom out the window. We're just gonna sit here and talk football, right?"
Right.
All right. So when I do that, and I feel like we're on a platform where we're just talking football. This is no point for any type of bias or fandom or whatever the case may be. But if we're going to be truthful in this whole thing, we can go back for the last 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jackson State had by far and away the most talented roster in the SWAC. It's not even up for debate.
Right.
Now,
Right.
were there other talented teams in the SWAC? Sure. But there was a major talent gap. And when we say that, because some people will look at the score and be like, oh, well, no, that game was close. No, it was a major talent gap.
Right.
So much so that I really feel like you're going to see how bad the talent gap was this season. The reason why I say that is, what other FCS program, forget the HBCU, what other HBCU program can sit there and say they lost what we lost this season? And if we win the SWAC, I mean, what there at that point, I'm not here saying that's what we want to do. I'm just giving it an example. All right, we're talking. But let's just say, let's forget winning the SWAC. Let's just say Jackson State wins 8 or 9 games this season. All right. Mm-hmm. How many teams, forget FCS, how many teams can sit there and say, not only did you lose your head coach, but you lost your 4-star quarterback, who was the 10th rated quarterback in the country when he came out of high school. You lost the number 1 rated recruit from the previous year. You lost a top 50 wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? You lost about 6 4-stars. Well, no, 5 4-stars in the process to go out with your, with your coach. Then, you look at, that's just the players who left. We're not talking about graduating seniors that add to that. You know what I'm saying? And they were good contributors to that team. How many players, how many schools, even more so on the FCS level, could say that they lost that? And still, as they say, like reload with a brand new coaching staff, brand new quarterback. I'm not going to say a brand new team because we got a lot of guys, but brand new offense, brand new defense, totally different offense from what you ran the previous 2 years, totally different defense that you ran the previous 2 years. So even if Jackson State is in contention, that speaks to everything that we've been saying for the past 2 years.
Right. Well, I said though, but like I told everybody, what you're gonna see, you said it last week. You said it last week. What you're gonna see is, well, if you're a Jackson State fan, if you're, like you said, if you're a true blue and white fan, you're gonna see the remnants of W.C. Gordon and James Big Daddy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But I also gave a disclaimer. When I say that we're going to look like you're going to have the JSU of W.C. Gordon days, I also gave a disclaimer. I'm not here proclaiming that we're going to win 8 conference titles in 10 years. I don't think any coach can do that in this day and time. I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't. But I do see, again, what Deion Sanders did, what he left us with. Because with TC, there's a marriage of the old and the new.
Right.
And then when you talk about because without saying too much, let's just be honest. There's not another team in the SWAC that's matching us recruiting player for player. Even now. Even now.
Nah, you're right. You're correct.
And so this is not me speaking as a JSU fan. I mean, it shows it. I mean, bear in mind that Deion Sanders left and we still have the number 2 ranked recruiting class in the whole entire FCS. And that's without Deion Sanders. That's without with all the defections that we had, this is just a recruiting class that we brought in. And mind you, out there recruiting class, we have 5 freshmen on campus practicing, playing in spring ball right now. How many other HBCUs can say that?
Not too many now.
How many?
Not too many FCS players are doing that. So.
That's exactly how many FCS programs say they got 5 freshmen on campus going through spring training right now. And here's the thing: all 5 of those freshmen, 3-star or better. All 5 of them, 3-star or better.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Zoe. Like, y'all deep, bro. Like,
so that's why I say now. Granted, I already know somebody said, well, hey, you can have the it's not always about talent. You can get our coach. All that's true, but again, talent wins out. Because at the end of the day, you can have a great coach, but if you don't have the good clay to mold, it is what it is. It's all about the Jimmys and Joes. And right now, we're stacking it. And I'll even tell you a little secret. Yesterday alone, without Deion Sanders on campus, we had 40 recruits on campus yesterday. 40. And we had more. We had multiple 5-stars on campus yesterday. Multiple. Yesterday. How many FCS programs can say that? And we had about 30 on campus today. But we didn't have any 5-stars today. But we had about 4 or 5 4-stars and the rest were 3-stars on campus today. And this is with Deion Sanders gone. How many other FCS programs could say that they're doing that right now? So it's a continuation of things being done. I'm telling you, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to sit here and say that we're going to win the SWAC this year. I'm not. I feel like it's too early for me to even proclaim that. We have a ways to go. Spring ball is going on. We're looking really, really good right now. And the SWAC is going to be formidable this year. I really, truly believe that. I believe that the top 3 teams in both divisions are going to be good. But I will also say that the worst thing that can happen is for Jackson State to win the SWAC this year with T.C. Taylor in his first year. I would definitely say that. Because with the momentum that we have and what we're doing right now and the things that are coming down the pipe, if he wins in his first year, look out.
If he wins in his first year, man, sure, that just says a lot about his coaching and his coaching staff, what he got, and the players on the field.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Who do y'all think would like even come close next year?
As far as what?
To Jackson. Just like
in the SWAC.
I'm gonna be honest. The SWAC. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be politically correct when I say this. I truly believe in my heart of hearts. I mentioned this beforehand. In the West alone, okay, Southern. I don't really put a whole lot of stock in the previous year because so much turnover happens now, right?
Right.
But Southern,
yeah,
they still had a winning season and they were in the championship game. Southern's not going to fall off the face of the earth, right? Because in a lot of ways, the main thing still applies, man. You find a good quarterback, it's going to mask a lot of things. And Southern is kind of like in
right.
the boat with a lot of teams. If they get the quarterback right, Southern has talent. You know what I mean? Southern has weapons, Southern has talent, and Doodle's a good coach. So you got to figure Southern's still going to be where they are or better, right?
Right.
Texas Southern has a great talented quarterback. They return a lot of players. You know, the thing with them is they
coming up injury though, right?
Hold on. The thing is what we don't know because we all have answers. I mean, we all have questions that we need to get answered. But if Texas Southern can get a defense because they got a trigger man, they got the main thing everybody else needs. They got it and they know it. They got a trigger man. If they can get a good defense, Texas Southern is going to be formidable. That's 2 teams. All right. Alcorn, same thing. If Draco turns out to be as good as advertised, Alcorn got the best returning running back in the league, a good stout defense, and they got a good head coach. Alcorn's going to be good. That's 3 teams, and this is all in the West. Prairie View. Yep. Prairie View, I'm telling y'all, Prairie View is going to be good.
They got pretty much almost everybody back.
Prairie View is going to be good. That's 4 teams. That's 4 teams in the West. Now, JSU is going to be JSU. FAMU is going to be good. Alabama State is going to be good. The wild card is going to be Alabama A&M. Again, Alabama A&M, they brought in all those transfers the year before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have the success that they want to get that first year. But we can't sit there and count them out for their second year. But the same rules still apply. If they find a quarterback, they're going to be formidable. But again, we got to see it. So I understand that. But you still got those top three in the East: FAMU, Alabama State, and Jackson State, because all three had winning records last year. All three. That's 7 teams out of what? Out of 12.
Which makes your conference formidable, though, because of the fact that it's parity, it's competition. Like the whole 7 out of 12 teams to be over 500, and three schools was trying to vie for one division title. That speaks a lot of volume to what has happened in the SWAC. And just like you said, QB play is the key. Because like I said, last week we talked about this, DJ. We all talked about this last week. Texas Southern would have been in the championship game if Andrew Biden did not get hurt and if they didn't lose their lead in the fourth quarter. Prairie View could have went into the championship game if they would not have lost the Valley. That's just point, you know what I'm saying? That's just simple. Point blank. You lost the Valley. You eliminated yourself. And with Southern, you had poor QB play majority of the season. And you got into the championship game. It kind of speaks,
well, that's what
a lot.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, like we're saying, if what they say about if, right? Like,
if was a fifth.
Like,
no, boy, ain't had a pepper. She'd be your uncle.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I mean, I saw some talented teams, like teams that had just like a talented running back, a couple receivers on this team, a good line on this, but nothing that had it all together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Jackson State's defense is 70% of what they were last year, they're still going to win the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? Because they have like dogs up on front. You know what I'm saying? They got people that didn't play last year, the ones that's coming back. I don't know. I mean, who's coming back, but I didn't see any drop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna be hungry.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't see a drop off. I'm telling you, it's all going to come down to that defense starting out fast and that quarterback play. That's it.
I'm gonna say this about the MEAC. I'm gonna say this about the MEAC, the little six in the MEAC. Y'all are tough because there's only 6 of y'all, right? There's only 6. I'm just saying this. This is my opinion. There's only 6 of y'all. Y'all tough, and you beat up on each other. That's all that's all you can do. You can beat up on each other. You play 5. You play 6 out of conference games. Like, seriously, 6 out of conference games. You were last season in the MEAC. You were lucky to have North Carolina Central only lose 2 games in that MEAC. Like, it's weak. It's weak. And the year before, South Carolina State, when you were supposed to sniff the Celebration Bowl, it wasn't supposed to sniff it. Got there by default.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that's what I'm gonna say about the MEAC. The MEAC is just y'all beat up on each other. And basically the best person wins. The best man wins.
the swag biggest problem, if we're being honest, the swag has had talent. The swag, for the most part, if we're being honest, has had two major issues. Those issues was, for the most part, I would say I would put number one. I would say would be coaching, but the second one I would put quarterback play.
Yeah, I get that.
The SWAC hasn't had above average quarterback play. that's been the biggest hindrance. To be honest, we've had and I'm gonna give you a really good example. You look at like in Akil Glass, right?
Yeah.
Even that spring season, Akil Glass was an above average quarterback, but he masked a lot of things for Alabama A&M, even with the receivers that they had, because they had a horrible defense, right? But without it, because if you take that quarterback away from that team, they're not a good team.
They probably like 3-8.
They scored a lot of points.
But watch this. How many quarterbacks played to the level of Akil Glass when he was in the conference? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
None. Yeah.
That's the thing. So for an example, like we have a Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur is good as advertised, right? Yeah. But the thing is, how many quarterbacks? I'm not saying quarterbacks had to match Shedeur, right? But how many quarterbacks were even just right there close to that level in conference, even just last season? Because the only thing you can mention is the quarterback at FAMU. Outside of that, quarterback play was not good. And Andrew Body's a good talent. Andrew Body's a good talent. Let me go on record and say that now. Yeah. But Andrew Body's play wasn't where Shedeur and the quarter. I can't remember the guy at FAMU name at the moment.
Musa, right? But Body's play last year wasn't close to Musa and Shedeur's last year. And it was Shedeur and Musa, and then everybody else was way down here. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the main thing when it came out. And you could go back the year before that, year before that, year before that, year before that. And that's the thing. The SWAC has had average to below average quarterback play. And that's been the main problem, because you got to have a good quarterback. And if you don't have one, and so even when you think of the crux of SWAC play, we love, for example, like we had Jimmy Oliver, right? Like we love that, right? Ooh. But Jimmy Oliver played the way he played because of what? We didn't have a good O-line play that year. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like backyard ball. We love to see it, but in the big scheme of things, it's not good when you're talking about playing good teams, and especially out of conference. And so that's been our biggest hindrance. So
when I watch Jackson State next year, I'm not even gonna worry about the first games. I'm going to see I want to see the progression, learning the offense and defense, team chemistry. I believe in that new coaches need that benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, I believe that the talent will be displayed. I think the quarterback play will be good, and I think they'll put a great product, because Maurice Harris, I really believe in his coaching. He has a great track record. Zoe knows about it. And you've been seeing the practices, though, so yeah, I think they're gonna put on a good show.
We'll be fine. I'll just say that we'll be fine.
I mean, what I seen out there, sure. I mean, what I seen on the videos and stuff, I think we'll be good. We'll be straight. I don't even see, like I said, I don't see.
I'll just say this: the quarterback play looks great. Looks really, really good. We are really stout at running back. Wide receiver room, there's no point in even commenting on that. It is what it is. Our D-line it's going to be something to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Our D-line is really going to be something to deal with. But again, even with that being said, I'm telling you now, we got a ways to go. We do. Got a ways to go. Got a lot of kinks to work out. And look, me sitting here talking is no different than anybody else with the other 11 teams in the conference. Everybody think their team going to probably win it all. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. Everybody looks good in the spring. There's no point in me trying to be naive about that. But the talent we have, it is what it is. It speaks for itself. But even with all that being said, like just make that sure, man. We got a ways to go. We got some work to do.
Brother Zoe, who do you think? I know it's too early because the new recruits that will come in the summer are coming in, so it's too early to see who will be a breakout player. But as you see right now, who do you think could be that breakout player on offense?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. To truthfully answer your question,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say for the spring team,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to say that because we got some things coming next month. But for the spring team, as we are at practice right now, the breakout, if I'm gonna use that term, I'm gonna give 2 on offense.
Okay.
Jency Riley at tight end, and Brandon Johnson.
6'5", 6'4", 6'5".
And I try to keep telling people, you have to understand, Jency Riley is 6'5" and a half, 220 pounds, runs a 4.45 at tight end. And he looks good, looks real good. He's going to play a lot, and he's going to utilize a lot this season. And Brandon Johnson closed out practice today with a long, about 55-yard touchdown reception from Jason Brown. Brandon Johnson looks really, really good, man. Big body receiver. Just enrolled in January as a transfer from Idaho State.
Yep.
California kid, man, that's loving the work right now. Loving the attention, and he's looking great. He's running with the ones right now. Looks really, really good. So those would be my breakouts for the spring team. We have a lot of players. For an example, I'm really looking forward to seeing Antonio Gayton. That's the wide receiver from Jones Community College. He runs a 4.3. Looking forward to seeing him when he gets here in May. Forgive me, Mr. Brown. I said 50 was 80. Correct. My bad. But you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm about to say, but yeah, Antonio Gayton. Looking forward to seeing him. We got a lot of other pieces, man, that's not, partaking in spring ball that's coming that I can't wait to see. There are other pieces to the puzzle. I just want to, get them on campus, take a look at them to see how they do, and then you can kind of get a better feel. But that's why I say for right now, breakout, I'll use those two.
Okay. Man, it's a lot of, man, look, it's a lot of eyes that want to see what we're gonna do in the fall. But like I said, it's competition in the SWAC is gonna be at an all-time high. I don't see hopefully we don't see a big drop off, but I want to see the competition in the SWAC to be back up there. Because if it's not there, then all we've been working for is pretty much for nothing. But I know we talked about we had kind of stretched on the kids that's leaving out. I know yesterday I watched I watched the show yesterday, and Ken would get ready to bust a blood vessel in his head. Like, y'all stop talking to me about Xavier. He ain't on the team. He ain't on. I mean, and that's understandable. So, you know what I'm saying? Because I know when you're investing in your team, you want to know, everything about the team. And like I said, we don't know we don't know what type of advice Savion had gotten from somebody, or what he has done, or what had happened. Like you said, there was no issue. I mean, if he left, he left. And it's just like you said, it's the next man up. Who the next man up? Irv. You got Irv. You got Seven. You got Jolivet. We got. I know Donovan Hunt's still there, if I'm not mistaken. We got a slew of players. You got a slew of running backs that's going to step up.
Well, all I can do to answer that, I'll just echo my coach, man. Right now, man, JD Martin looks really, really good.
See,
JD Martin looks really, really good. JD Martin's running the ball pretty good at practice against that D line that I mentioned. Also, Desmond Moultrie looks really, really good. We have our own version of Maurice Jones-Drew, Imani Matthews. Martin Matthews running the ball, man. Looks really, really good. But then also, again, like we mentioned, you have some other running backs coming in, and then we also have some unknown running backs that's going to come in. That'll be in next month. So who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey Doc, I wish you had that Samuel Jackson voice over. There's unknown unknowns, and then there's unknowns.
See, I wish
that
would
have been perfect, man.
Oh my God, the Boondocks.
That would have been perfect, dog.
I would have had if I had that. It would be. I would have guessed.
Hey, so look at Mr. Brown said it. Eight looks good and fast. It's JD Martin. He does.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, he played last season. When he played last season, his only big problem was the fumbles.
But at the same token, too, I know everybody looks at Savion. Savion's a good back. I'm a fan of Savion, but we also have to remember, JD Martin's a 4-star running back. JD Martin is a damn good player. The thing is, he has issues with fumbles in a couple of games. But also, this offense that we're running now is going to cater more to the running backs than anything than what we ran the previous 2 years.
Right.
So the blocking scheme is going to be different because we're not going to be in a pass-heavy offense. So and what we're doing favors the running backs, believe it or not. It really, really does. So and they welcome the challenge. Like I said, right now. Whenever anyone leaves, man, all it does is provide more of an opportunity to get more reps, to get more opportunity. That's all it does, and they've embraced it and looking good with it so far.
Man, that's cool. That's cool. It's still, I'm trying to get some more people to give me.
Hey, dog, let me answer that because someone said, "Is JD a 4-star?" People got to realize in the JUCO ranking scale, a 3-star is a high 3-star in JUCO rankings is the equivalent of a 4-star.
No, actually, let me stop you there. JD Martin was a 4-star running back. I mean, high school. No, he was a 4-star quarterback out of high school.
Okay, that is true.
Out of Wetumpka High School, yes, JD Martin was a 4-star quarterback. He went to JUCO because he tore his ACL very, very late in the season. And then he went to Northeast Mississippi Community College. And if you're familiar with JUCOs, they play a 9-game schedule. And JD ran for just under 1,000 yards in 8 games. So
that's a bad boy.
Dog put the truth on top of truth, man. And that's something I didn't even know because I knew he was an athlete. But that JUCO ranking scale is different, man. Like a 3-star, especially a high one, is pretty much a 4-star. And there's a reason why there's no 5 stars in JUCO rankings because if you're a 4-star, you're literally a 5-star, depending on how you are on the ranking scale.
Yeah, JD Martin is a damn good running back.
Yeah, he sounded.
Mr. Ford, you still on there? I think Mr. Ford checked out.
Nah, he'll come back.
Man, but I was thinking about the linebackers because with Jarente leaving out because he's a linebacker / defensive end, so he's a hybrid. Who are the linebackers that we have that's on the team? I mean, that's practicing right now.
Oh man, Alan Walker looks amazing. Alan Walker's the transfer we got from Louisiana Tech. Alan Walker looks number 0. Looks lights out. Then you got Javarian Jenkins, who go look at the measurables. Javarian Jackson is just a shade under 6'2". It's probably about 215 pounds. He's a bigger, faster version of Keontae Hampton.
Ooh.
And any Jackson State fan in here, I want you to go find the last time we had a linebacker that ran 4.4.
Shit, Keontae. That's it.
He's a taller, faster version of Keontae Hampton. It's exactly what he is.
Man.
And the tape don't lie. So everybody want think I'm capping? Just go look up JJ, Varian Jackson, linebacker, Jones Community College last season.
Somebody do they work well together? Like as far as
right now, yeah, they do. They do. But again, you still got KJ Arrington, and we have some other linebackers coming in. We also have a linebacker. Who I'm telling y'all, the coaching staff is really, really high on. We have a. I don't want to say it correctly. I can't recall whether he's a Samoan or Polynesian linebacker coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Dog. That'll be
Is
here.
he from Snow?
Yeah.
I see.
Snow College.
We have some more linebackers coming in. Some that are signed. Again, they'll be here. Excuse me. In June. But even with the portal reopening, man, we got some other things working on. So we are. We're good.
It's cool. And I know the back end, as far as on the defensive side, as far as back end DBs, I think we are super loaded on the back end for DBs. Like
we are. I'm gonna say something, and I mean this wholeheartedly. When you factor in the entire defensive backfield, we're better this year than we have been in the past 3 seasons.
Mm.
You got K5. Excuse me. You got Jalen. You got K5. You got Isaias Guthrie, and then you have Kedrian Callaghan. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's a beautiful thing to see at practice. I'll tell you that. A beautiful thing to see at practice. Kedrian Callaghan is going to be a star in this way. Isaias, as I call him, the book of Isaias. I mean, he is who he is.
Yeah.
He's practiced as advertised. Niles is going to play the same role he's always played since he's been at JSU. The main thing for us on defense, because the D line is there, is just making sure the linebackers gel. That's it. Outside of that, because of what we're doing a whole different scheme. And we're going to mix it up a whole lot more this year than we have the previous 2 years with going man and running zone. But from a personnel standpoint, we'll be better this year, more so with the pass rush that we have for what we're doing than what we had the previous year. A lot of what we did, we're generating pressure last season, not the previous year, but last year was more scheme. Because we didn't have just Niles got hurt at the beginning of the year. Niles was generating pressure like James Houston. He was getting there. But once he got injured, then that kind of tallied off, and we pretty much rely more on scheme than individual talent from a pass rushing standpoint.
Yeah,
within the D line.
I think he got nicked after that. It was the
It was the game after Grambling game. I can't remember.
Valley.
It was the Valley game.
It was the Valley game.
Because you got to remember, by the time the Valley game hit, Niles had, I believe, 6 sacks.
Mm-hmm. Should have had more than that. That Tennessee State game, I still say they cheated about like 2 more sacks.
And so, and he finished with 7 sacks on the season. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or 6.5, 6.5 or 7.
7.
But yeah. So again, the main thing that we have, a lot of other teams do. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really happy with what we are at quarterback. We just need everything to gel. Once we do that, man, we're good. We're good to go. But and as I say that, a lot of teams in the SWAC probably feel the same way because the main thing is a quarterback.
Yeah,
you got your good quarterback, you can go from there.
Yeah, when it comes to the SWAC, like I said, Mr. Ford will tell me, like with Alabama State, I know they got a quarterback coach, a capable quarterback coach that can actually get Demetrius Davis, the fundamentals, to actually play quarterback. Because to me, Demetrius is an athlete playing quarterback. He's pretty much an athlete playing quarterback. His problem is he hold on to the ball too long. He is susceptible to getting injured because he take a hit. And y'all saw that game when they played against Jackson State.
Hey, Doc, it's a lot different than when he had with that North Shore. North Shore had 300+ pound offensive line, and they controlled the line of scrimmage, and they ran that spread tempo, that slow tempo offense. It's a little different now. It's Alabama State.
But he got 300-pound linemen. He just is to me with him is him holding on to the ball too long.
Well, I'm gonna say this specifically for Alabama State. You guys got to remember they have the second best defense in the conference last year behind us.
They do.
All right, they have the second best defense in the conference. They had a good running game, but the reason why they didn't take the next leap with that team was quarterback play.
Yep.
And I'm gonna say this: if Demetrius Davis, if he takes a step up this year, they're going to be formidable. They're going to be really good.
They're going to be some dogs.
Because they didn't lose a lot. They have a lot of good players coming back on their defense, right? Mm-hmm. And again, they've added some other pieces. That's why I'm trying to tell everybody they have a good team.
Oh yeah,
they realistically have a good team.
The only knock
but the main thing is Demetrius Davis. If he takes a step up, which is legit, it's logical to even think so. I mean, look, we could say it's his first full year starting. You know what I'm saying? New team, new offense. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He struggled again. What Shador did his freshman year, it's an anomaly. It doesn't happen all the time. But Shador was already, you know what I'm saying, on campus that spring season. Remember?
Yeah.
So Demetrius didn't have that same luxury because he had a season to go through and sit and watch, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to figure logistically, man. He played his first year. He didn't play his best, but he came in with a lot of hype, right? He didn't live up to the perceived hype of who his name was out of high school, but that talent is still there, and he showcased it, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, if he does take that next step, they're going to be a dangerous team because they have all the other pieces.
Yeah, that's correct.
And as we saying the names of these teams, look at Valley. They have I think 2 quarterback transfers, one from New Mexico State. Mm-hmm. Has good measurables, kind of USA-ish, quote unquote, where he can manage a game, has high IQ. This is going to be a different swag, man. This is going to be one of the most exciting seasons. Even the lower teams that barely won games will be improved.
I would be remiss if I didn't say I haven't mentioned Pine Bluff and I haven't mentioned Bethune-Cookman or Valley for that reason. Not because of any slight toward them. It's just that I really haven't been paying attention and familiar enough with personnel wise or with the coaching staff to even speak on them, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I know we all pretty much want to assume like they're going to be at the bottom of the heap, but bear in mind, one of those 3 teams are going to do what a lot of us aren't think they're going to do. I'm not saying they're going to have a winning record, but they're going to knock somebody off, and one of them, believe it or not, may actually surprise all of us and have a formidable team. No, I'm not saying they're going to win 7 to 8 games, but it wouldn't be out of this world for one of those teams to finish 6-5 or 5-6 and have 2 or 3 good wins in conference, right? It can happen.
My sleeper team in the East is, I'll say it, it's Valley. I don't see nowhere for them just to go up. And you got to have some invigoration to come in. Not saying that Coach Dancer didn't have that when he was at Valley, but I just see some like a renewed sense for them right now with Coach Wade.
Hey, on the slick, if you really want to be honest, Valley is almost kind of mirroring Jackson State right now.
It is.
You ain't lying, dog.
It is.
If you want to be honest. And what I mean by that is they got one of their favorite sons to come back to coach. Watch this. The AD who just got hired is an alum. So that's major. Wants to be there. Hakeem worked hand in hand with Ashley,
Mm-hmm.
and him and Ashley are still cool. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes and he hires one of their own favorite sons, an alum. So he wants to be there. And quiet as it's kept, put a nice staff together.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, if you really paid attention, now granted, I looked at a couple of players that they got, not the whole entire recruiting class. Like I said, I'm not just totally abreast with everything going on with Valley, but Valley did get some nice players in this recruiting cycle. They did. I don't know what they did from a transfer standpoint, but they did.
They got a couple players from the transfer standpoint. Another team you can go say that they did the same thing. Get their native son back was Bethune-Cookman when they hired Raymond Woody.
Exactly.
When he's Willie Taggart disciple. And looking at his like I said, looking at his staff that he put together, it's a nice staff that he put together. So he's both of these coaches, these new coaches, are doing pretty much the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Putting together a nice staff. Bethune, I'm just trying to figure out what they have as far as with the recruiting. I've seen a little bit of the recruiting that they did, but like you said, until the transfer portal open back up in May, we won't know.
Them next month.
Next month? I thought it was in May though.
No, it's April 15th through April 30th.
Oh shoot! Okay.
It's going to be loaded in that portal, man.
We shall see what they get.
So remember, the portal opens up as soon as spring season ends.
Okay.
One thing I like what Coach Wade is doing, he's being different, man. Just his approach. They're using media more, which I advise every HBCU to do. And I always say, if you try to showcase your school, man, that's progress.
Right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for
What's
that,
up,
Miss Body.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you this question. Somebody asked how far the talent wise is the group coming in versus the group of Tigers that have left. Let me just say this. This recruiting class that we just brought in is an amazing class. An amazing class. Even in that class, you look at the high schoolers, forget the mid-season transfers, but the high school talent alone is amazing. Again, it speaks to the quality of the talent we have 4 freshmen enrolled in spring ball right now. Then on top of that, you got one other freshman here locally that's actually coming to practice every day. Isaiah Spencer is at practice every day. Every day.
Then you got the rest of them coming in
that says a lot, right? But to answer your question, I'd be foolish to sit here and tell you the recruiting class that left. I'm gonna only say the class is better solely because of Travis Hunter, because Travis Hunter is a unicorn. And when I say unicorn, I'm not just talking about once in a lifetime talent. I'm saying he has that, but you can say it's a unicorn because even if you look at the totality of last season, how many games did you see him play?
He only played what, 6 games?
He played 6 games. He played 6 games, but he really flashed how much of a unicorn he is in 3 games. So, he came and went. But I'll say the class that left, because again, you can't, if you want to go by ratings and things of that nature, you can't overcome having 2 top 50 players leave your program and compare it to what we have coming in. Because at the end of the day, we did do that. We had 2 top 50 players signed on the previous recruiting class. So
right. What do you think about what's your thoughts about the offensive lineman that just committed from Rufus King out of Milwaukee?
Well, he's a preferred walk-on, but if you notice, with what we're doing with the recruiting of the lineman we're going heavy in the Midwest with the recruiting of the O-lineman. It's by design from the O-line coach that we have, who's doing an amazing job with the linemen that we have, man. And they actually put to use the O-line shoot that we got them, man. They was putting
Oh
that thing
yeah,
to work yesterday.
I seen that, man. That was nice,
They
man.
they
That
put
looked
that thing,
good.
they put that thing to use yesterday. But man, let me just tell you, man, you see it, man. Big Cam, the transfer
Uh-huh.
from Minnesota. Oh my God, man,
Oh, he a dog.
that dude is a behemoth.
He a dog.
Um,
Somebody asked about Maximus Gibbs. He still there? I know I haven't heard too much anything.
who?
I think Maximus
The
Gibbs
6'9", 300+ pounder.
transferred
Uh,
from USC.
he's still there. I hadn't seen him in practice.
Okay.
I can't really speak on what's going on with that. But Cam is it's a damn good pickup. And again, you're talking about a four-star lineman. But dude looks good. Dude looks real good. Um, but yeah,
Hey,
Man.
hey, Zoe, I want to ask: is Tristan Sion? Is he in spring season?
yeah,
Did he
he's
practice?
there. He's in free practice right now, looking good too. Tristan Sion and Batman.
Wow.
Yeah, Tristan, yeah, he blogged his
And
first
let me tell you,
on.
Tristan he's going to be a really, really good player down the line for JSU. Man, the guy throws himself into the fire every day at practice.
Hmm.
Really, he's gotten beat on some plays, but he's fighting and he's battling. You know what I mean? And you got to remember, it's a tough thing to go straight from high school to college, but he's going to be better for it because he's again enrolled early, going through
Yep.
spring ball right now, man, and he's going to be so much further along, coming in now than had he came in the summer. And I think it was a smart move too, man, with a brand new defensive, brand new staff, basically a brand new roster, and best to go ahead and jump in early. But Batman is looking good as well too, man. They both have the measurables, man. These are tall corners.
Right.
Tristan's 6'2".
Yeah, you know who Tristan reminded me of though from Jackson State back in the day?
Man, Tristan actually has a body frame like Rashad Anderson.
That's what I'm about to say. He remind me of Wild Man.
He actually has a body frame of Rashad Anderson.
That's who he reminds me of. I was just getting ready to say that. He reminds me of Wild Man. Like he pretty much he that dude. Like I mean, like looking at the game, he get to the ball, he could tackle, you know what I'm saying? He could play press, you know what I'm saying? He can play zone.
And,
To me, he could do it all.
but again, man, as a freshman, 6'2", and then again, he hasn't. The guy in the strength coach Beef is working all those guys out. But you got to remember, man, even as the freshman, I really don't think you're going to see the growth from him for like another 2 years.
Right.
You talk about developing his body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the skill is there, the talent is there, and it's obvious. So he's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, when I mentioned that there's not too many FCS schools having freshmen, like 5 freshmen come to the spring, early graduates. Man, there's schools in the FBS who may just have 2 freshmen come through, or even none for some schools. Man, this is impressive, man. And I wish my brother Mike, I know he listened, he watched the show. He played D1 football. He didn't do that, but we talked all the time, like, man, if you could have came in early to the school you went to, that helps kids out tremendously, knowing the playbook. And then when they get in the fall, so this it's not new to them. They can
Yeah,
go into the fire ready to war.
yeah.
Yeah.
Philip Webb has been looking good, man. He looks as advertised. He looks really, really good. Moving him around right now, but he stands out, man. That dude is tall. He stands out, but he looks really, really good. He does.
Man.
He's performing well at practice. Running with the ones right now, so he's looking good.
Let me see. I want this. I might want this to happen, DJ. I want Jackson State versus Texas Southern in the SWAC championship game. just
You
so
know
we
what? I want
just,
that too, man.
just so
I
we
want
can get
somebody
the damn
different.
city of Houston to take their ass to bring their ass to Jackson so they can
No
support their damn
excuses.
team. No excuses. None. Bro, we already talked, man. Look, we had this big old, well, I don't know, say it was a big argument, but Dallas versus Houston when it comes to sports. Oh my God. Houston, y'all terrible. Y'all
No, we
terrible.
got talent. It's
You
just the
got
support.
the
Dallas supports their teams more. I give y'all that.
man. Up there goes. It's so cute to say he out of there because he got
Oh
to
no,
be at
I'm
work in the
good.
morning. You
Oh no,
good?
I'm good.
No,
I'm good. I'm not in Atlanta no more. I'm good.
Look, Miss Body. Look, I don't care. Be careful I wish for. I want that to happen. I wanted that to happen last season. I really did. I wanted to be Andrew versus Shador.
I think we all wanted that.
It was gonna be two Texas boys playing QB.
Wait a minute. You got Andrew versus Shador last year.
I'm talking about in the championship game.
No,
Hey, where the
hold on. You said you wanted that in December, but you got it in October. How did it go in October?
man? Look, you know what? We already know what happened in October, bro.
So why do you want a remix of what happened in October, December?
Hey,
It wasn't even a formidable game.
I just want. I'm wishful thinking.
If we being honest, man, PV's probably the favorite, man, on that side. You know, you got
what?
that offensive line, man.
Honestly, man, I don't. If in my heart of hearts, man, I think I'm not gonna do the whole thing because it's too early and too tricky. But knowing the swag like I know it, I believe Southern be picked to win the West again.
Shout out to Diamond for the donation. Like I said, we still doing donations for Rolling Fork. You can do it through Cash App or you could do it through the Super Chat.
I do. I believe Southern to be picked to win the West in the preseason. If not for Southern, I'll say Southern or Alcorn.
Southern.
Hey, you see that comment? Said, hell no, Ruben. Hey, I'm telling y'all, PV's really good, man. I don't know why some people think they can't
really
compete.
Not trash. They really not trash, bro. They not trash.
Yeah, PV is not trash.
They not trash. Southern just got them on a bad day. They lost a fight and they lost a football game all on the same day. But they not trash. They not trash. Not the least.
Hey, you know who I'm excited to see play with Andrew Body? And I made this on the video, Quay Davis. Freaking Davis.
If he can get it, it right down there.
I'll say this: if Quay is on the field playing, he's going to be a big weapon for Texas Southern. He's a dog. You got to get on that field and you got to play though.
Yeah, you got to get on there. Got to be right. But man, it's good to talk football as always. It's good to talk football.
But that also adds to my point.
Yeah.
If Quay Davis goes to Texas Southern and just goes crazy, bear in mind he could barely get on the field at Jackson State.
What they say that the talent was too much talent.
that wide receiver room that I'm telling everybody about.
It was.
And he was barely getting on the field. I mean,
they said that we got Malachi. Malachi's still there. Malachi is doing Malachi thing at Jackson. He's not there. But like we said, just like we said, next man up. I said thank you for your contribution to the school, to the team. But it's next man up. You gotta. You have to have that mindset too. TC gotta, TC had to have that mindset, like the next man up. but it's good to talk football. Final four this weekend. We got Florida Atlantic, Miami, UConn, and who's the last team? Because hell, I forgot the last team.
I can tell you who I'm rolling with.
Is it Xavier? No, not Xavier. Hold on. Hell, I don't even. And for the men, UConn is the only blue blood that's still in still in the tournament.
Hey, I looked at y'all look at those Ken Pond rankings, like metrics. UConn is number one in the tournament in all metrics. Shooting, defense. They're blowing out their competition.
San Diego State too, by the way.
San Diego State, yeah.
In Miami. UConn and Miami. And then San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. I can tell you who I'm rolling with, though. It's easy.
Who?
Come on, man. You see this on my shirt? You see this? I represent
UConn.
No, I represent the crib, dog. Florida Atlantic.
Florida Atlantic.
Man, look. We got dude, you got the Lad Witherspoon brother, straight from Ken, right up the road, playing for Florida Atlantic. And then their best players from Summit played in No Pipe. Elijah Martin from No Pipe.
Man.
So then you got Witherspoon.
Man.
The Laz Witherspoon brother is playing at Florida Atlantic.
Man. Hey, Zoe, got to tell you this about San Diego State. They're the one team, like when they ugly the game up and you start to get pressure and you start turning over the ball that you usually don't turn over the ball, they usually win those games. So all Florida Atlantic got to do, they got to keep their composure for all two halves. They cannot be rattled by that defense. They're scrappy. They're a bunch of junkyard dogs. A bunch of their players look like tight ends. They don't look like basketball players.
DJ, Florida Atlantic got a boy on their team from Canton, Mississippi, dog.
He a bad boy, man.
No.
I know he thought he You're a bad boy, man.
No.
It's going to be a fun game.
Go, man. Hey, but I'm telling y'all, for real, in all seriousness, Elijah Martin is a dog. I know y'all ain't watched Florida Atlantic, really, but I'm telling y'all, Elijah Martin is a dog. When you watch him play, DJ, you're going to say, damn, Zoe was not kidding.
Mr. Ford said it.
No, I believe you, bro.
He said it correct, though. Just think about this. Florida Atlantic is in the Final Four, right? University of North Texas is in the NIT. I think it's the NIT semis or finals.
Should have been in the tournament.
Should have been in the tournament.
Should have been in the tournament.
Should have been in the tournament. And my God, come on now. That what does that say about that conference right there? And they got UAB that's in the NIT also. So what does it say about that? What does it say about that?
It's a good conference, but also let's not leave out. There's something that they do, Conference USA, each team that we name, that I want the SWAC, MEAC, and everybody else to do. In a transfer portal, you need a dominant three to complement the stars or starters you have already.
Mm-hmm.
Like example for Jackson State, you got two talented guards.
Yeah.
You need a center, power forward, small forward who have averaged double digits in elite competition. Don't have to be 20, don't have to be none of that. You put that in JSU, you put that in Texas Southern, you put that in many schools, and you'll see, tournaments and et cetera. But that's how they do it, the transfer portal, man.
Well, the main thing the SWAC has to stop doing, and it really could be a mid-major power, is all our teams pretty much prostitute themselves at the start of the season in the conference. And see, it comes down to money, finances, because, that's the way we help fund other stuff. And if we weren't taking all these darn money games and playing other mid-majors,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? As opposed to going on the road for 9-10 games in a row, if we actually schedule better, play other mid-majors, and win those games as a collective, get a stronger RPI. Now, granted, you're still a one bid league, but if you put a couple of seasons together where you're winning those games, then you could possibly change over time from being a one bid league. For an example, most people don't know this, but the West Coast Conference was a one big league as well.
Yep.
But then now you started getting Gonzaga and Mount St. Mary's now coming from that league.
Yeah, but see, it's always those two though. They don't.
But again, the point still remains. It's a one bid league.
Yeah.
When you change the RPI and change the rating and the perception of the way that league is playing, then you can actually have multiple teams. You just because you're a one bid league doesn't mean you'll always stay a one bid league. That's the point that I'm getting at.
Okay.
The teams in that conference have the ability to change that. Conference USA, even the same thing. Now, granted, in its inception, it was a stronger basketball conference.
Yeah.
But like even the Sun Belt, for an example.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it changes. Just because and I don't think most people understand that. Just because you're a one big league doesn't mean you have to stay that way. The team and the conference can change that. They have the ability to change it.
All I know is when next season comes, that damn Conference USA is going to be a little bit stronger because they got teams coming in, but they got some teams leaving out, but they going to the American.
Yeah.
And the American.
Hey Zoe, speaking of JSU basketball, bro, if they didn't have such a tough beginning schedule, like how many of those wins they could have had if they had a normal schedule? Because that schedule was tough as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
But DJ, that's the point I'm getting at. It's not just Jackson State.
It's everybody.
It's everybody. Go look at Southern schedule. Go look at Gramble's schedule. Go look at FAMU schedule. It's the whole swag. We're all doing the same thing. We're prostituting ourselves for money games. Like, dude, we'll go on the road to open the season. Mm-hmm. We'll spend a whole month on the road. You don't play your first home game till after Christmas.
Look at
like so many schools in the swag do it.
Texas State is not Texas State. Texas Southern is notorious. Texas Southern is notorious for starting their season off. They start off with 11 non-conference games. Be on the road for a month and a half, almost 2 months. And
you're losing to get a check because money games there are not like football, but they're still good paying. So for example, most people don't even know this. Like Texas Southern, I'm gonna use since you mentioned them. They'll play their first game. They'll play UCLA. They're getting $90,000 for that game. Then the next game, go get another game, $75,000. Another game, $90,000. Another game, $75,000. Another game, $60,000. And this is basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing these heavyweights. Like, bear in mind, the thing that Texas Southern or SWAC schools are doing, who's the number one ranked team in the country? I'll give you, hold on. Matter of fact, North Carolina is not even doing what SWAC schools are doing from a game in, game out standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They're not even doing it, but we're doing it. But we have to do it because of the money. And so if things were different and we didn't have to prostitute ourselves, now we can have games that we can win. We know we could do it because hell, Grambling beat Colorado this year. Who else had won a game? Like, it could be done, and all of those wins happen at home too. By the way,
hey, Doc, remember in the late 2000s,
but that's
that
the
high school tournament. Oh, sorry.
Was that?
No, I was just saying that's the thing. If my bad, DJ, I will say that's the thing. If we didn't, I mean, just think about it. If let's just say Southern, wasn't playing, or Jack State, you're not playing. I'm playing UCLA. Then turn around playing Washington. Then come around playing Michigan. Then playing Dayton. Then playing Penn State. You see what I'm saying? You're playing all these blue bloods or powerhouses in basketball. You know you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. But if you don't schedule those games, but then let's just say you go play a team in the in the West Coast Conference. You turn around and you play a team in the Sun Belt. You know what I'm saying? You still play because we're all D1. And see, it's different in basketball than football. There is no FCS, FBS. We're all D1 in basketball. You just want to get a good RPI win. Go play Troy State. Then turn around and go play somebody and I'm not saying don't play in the Power 5 schools. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see Jackson State play Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? But what if you win that game and then you turn around and play Troy? Jackson State never watch this. Why we rarely ever play Southern Miss, right? They go play Louisiana Tech. You know what I'm saying? Go play Louisiana Lafayette. You can win those games. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed win, but you have a more equal playing field to win those games. My bad, DJ. Go ahead.
No, you spitting the truth, bro. I was mentioning, and I don't know, Doc, if you were familiar with this. Remember in Houston in the mid to late 2000s, high school basketball did Houston versus the nation. So it would be like Oak Hill and all, St. Benedict's coming into Houston playing Yates and all the top high schools. And it was tough competition, but the crowd was there. It was live and it generated money.
Yeah.
I was wondering if HBCUs or SWAC, or you could combine SWAC and MEAC and do HBCUs versus certain conference, and it could be at HBCU facilities. What do y'all think about that?
They did that this year. HBC, well, they did SWAC versus Pac-12, and the SWAC actually finished 3-3 against the Pac-12.
Yeah.
In that
Grambling won against
Grambling won, Prairie View won. I forget who else, but they were actually 3-3 against the Pac-12. I'm gonna tell you, I watched SWAC tournament. I watched Grambling and I watched Alcorn. Right? I saw Jackson State get better as the season went on. But North Texas is in the finals of the NIT. And if anybody watched that Alcorn North Texas game, Alcorn would have beat them, but Alcorn had 4 top players. 1 player had hurt his hand, and 3 players couldn't dress out. They had 32 points a game. Their leading assists that didn't even play in that game. If you look at the score, you wouldn't think so, but it was like a 6-point game to like 5 minutes to play in a game. Alcorn only played 6 people the whole game. You could tell they just got tired.
And North Texas
I agree with I agree with Zoe. Shouldn't just be on the road like that, playing those schools all the time. Like I said, I'm 51. I remember those schools wouldn't even play Alcorn, Jackson State, because like the 2 young men, like Zoe was just talking about, who's at Florida Atlantic. Those players wouldn't have been at Florida Atlantic back in the day. Those players would have been at Alcorn or at Jackson State. Those big schools didn't want to play them, but now they started to play them when they couldn't get the second best players no more, when they couldn't get those type of players no more. So now they would put them on a schedule for easy victory. And that's what has happened. We don't have enough players that want to stay and play at an HBCU.
But you gotta remember this, Bakari. Oh yeah, I'm shout out for the donation, man. I got it early. With the reason why some of these schools back then didn't want to play Alcorn and Southern and Jackson State, because there was a chance that, let's just say back in the day, Alcorn would play it, so let's just say let's put it out there, like Louisiana Tech would play Alcorn. At the time, Alcorn had Coach Whitney, the Wizard, and he was tough nosed. He had tough defenses. They could shoot the lights out. They didn't want to play those dudes right there because they knew what was gonna happen when they played them. They knew what was gonna happen when they played them. Even when Southern had Ben Jobe as the coach, he would basically run them dudes up and down the court. They didn't want to play that. Even when Jackson State, Coach Stockland, like, they didn't want to play that. They didn't want to play them dudes like that.
No, they didn't. Jackson State had Purvis Shaw. Look how long his NBA career was. Alcorn could get players like Larry Smith, Mr. Mean. Look how long his NBA career was. Then won a championship as an assistant with the Houston Rockets when they went back to back. Just go look at the type of players. I remember when they had Eddie Archer, Aaron Brandon, Tommy Collier at Alcorn. They actually, they'd say that was the first HBCU to ever receive any votes to be ranked in the top 20. Those schools wouldn't, Mississippi State wouldn't play them. They wouldn't play Jackson State and Alcorn back then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even in Valley, Coach Stribley, uh, when he had Marcus Mann and all those guys up there, they ain't want to play them dudes like that. I think that team right there, I think they was the only ones that kind of kept close with Georgetown when they had Allen Iverson. They didn't want to play them dudes like that.
I tell you what else. Another thing, another little nugget. You look at one of Texas Southern best players is Harry Machine Gun Kelly, right? Then you look at one of Valley greatest players, Al Ford, right? Both players won the SWAC. Both players led the nation in scoring, right? Both of those players from Mississippi.
I remember seeing Al Ford playing high school. Me and him the same age. He died at a young age. His career overseas. He could have came to the NBA, but he found out he had some type of disease. He died in his 30s. I remember my cousin was a senior. My cousin was the best on our team. Alfonso Ford was a freshman. Man, that dude, I saw him score 45 points in high school as a freshman. You're right, he's from Greenwood. He went to Amanda Elsie High School in Greenwood. They didn't want to play him, but somehow.
Then you had Randy Bolden, who's a great player at Texas Southern. He's straight from Jackson. I mean, there's been a lot of great basketball talent out of the state of Mississippi that's fed several teams throughout the SWAC, man.
Yeah.
So to add to your point, it's just like, the talent has been there. The thing is, we just, again, prostituting ourselves.
Yeah. So Machine Gun Kelly was from Mississippi too?
He's from Jackson.
Oh, you know what? And for the longest, I thought he played at Alabama State.
No,
but I remember Texas Southern. But I remember because that used to be the game, man. Like, man, Machine Gun Kelly was there while Eddie Archer them was at Alcorn.
Eddie Archer from Jackson.
I knew Aaron Brandon. I thought Eddie Archer from Jackson.
Eddie Archer was Callaway.
Yeah, I remember they played Patrick Ewing them in the NCAA tournament. Georgetown beat them by 8 points. I remember that. But and I'm gonna tell you, not only do they do that, look what they did this year in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah.
Y'all ever notice? They always, most of the time, if they make a HBCU end up playing against a black head coach. Look who Norfolk State. If a black head coach got team 1 or 2 seed, watch where they put the HBCU at every time. They've been doing it for a long time.
Man.
A long time.
That's gonna be another subject we'll talk about right there. But I'm about to shut this thing down. I gotta be up there, man. Not early in the morning, but I gotta get
all right, man. Peace. Zoe started talking about basketball. I just wanted to come over here. I know I'm a little bit older than y'all. I'm 51, so I was just wondering if they. But Zoe remember them players. I remember too, though. So I just wanted to talk about it because they didn't want to mess with us. They didn't want to play. They didn't want to play them back in the day.
Yeah.
I hope Coach Mo can get some now, though. I hope he can get a couple.
Oh, you're gonna get.
But on that note, man, peace, man.
Peace. And I'm about to shut it down. I got to be in the morning with my daughter, my youngest baby, so she got a field trip she wanted me to come on. So I'm like, okay, let's go. But
yeah, I'm about to roll up myself, bro.
Yeah, you about to call it a night.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Later.
Yeah. So again, y'all, look, we are doing it was nice to have that conversation right there. But make sure if you haven't done it already, if you haven't done it through Super Chat or Super Thanks, or you could do it on the Cash App, If you're on your phone, it is pinned to the top of the uh it's pinned to the top of the chat room. But I will put it in there again for everybody to see. But we are raising money for the folks in Rolling Fork and Rolling Fork. The places that got hit the hardest: Rolling Fork, Anguilla, Silver City. Um, we want to make sure we want to try to get the funds to them so they can get the necessary things. Um, so I'm gonna put it in the chat for everybody. The Cash App is in there, and if you don't do Cash App, like I said, you can do the Super Chat and give super thanks. So um, let's come in there, like I said, come together and charitable. Let's be charitable right now. And it's almost that time of the year too for Easter. So let's be charitable right now. Uh, let's get this going. So if you donate, I will send a shout out to you uh, either tonight or on the next show. But it's for the people in Roller Fort. So, but other than that, y'all, I thank everybody for coming on today. Uh, thank everybody the panel that came on. We had over 200 people in here. We had 200 people in here. Thank you. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, and most of all subscribe. Thank for the newest member of the Overdrive family, Big Lauderdale. Shout out to you, my brother. Um, but make sure y'all do that. We make sure that we do that, and make sure we share this with other folks because we want to get this as we want to make these videos the live recommended channel for YouTube. So let's get that algorithm jumping, y'all. But as always, man, as always, I'll be back I'll be back on either tomorrow or Thursday. It all depends. Tomorrow I'm off tomorrow, but Thursday I know I'll be on Thursday. Um, peace, blessings, um, everything. But again, y'all, there's been another HBCU Overdrive Live show where HBCUs matter. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. And just hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share it with your people. But everybody be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay dangerous. We out of here. Till the next show, Thursday. Peace.